So welcome everybody to the Gamingbrew channel where we love and play all things Dungeons and Dragons. Tonight is Rising Embers episode 2. And there is so much that's going on tonight. Let's just play some D&D. Pow! Look at them beautiful faces. So in the last game, this is still the same day. You all met each other, making your way to Vartungard to speak with Jarl Tenfeather. For your own purposes. See, Prophet's already given everybody advantage to start the game. Advantage to the team.
Woo-hoo.
Thank you, man. Appreciate it. Now I can throw extra stuff at him.
Oh.
Prophet increased the difficulty level. Collusion.
He's just giving you justification to TPKs.
No, we got that on the first day.
Collusion. So you all met with Tenfeather. You took his 2 daughters out to pick frostberries. And as you were taking them out, you were attacked by a saber-toothed tiger, which you easily dispatched, adding a strange little confrontation between the group as to how to deal with the killed beasts. As you're doing so, the youngest daughter, Runa, spoke in a strange voice, an otherworldly voice. And then you were attacked by traitors and Syl, the witch. She cast some sort of spell which threw all of you to the ground except for Shannon, who was able to see the witch take both daughters and walk off to the east. But we begin as you wake up, your head splitting in pain with blood trickling from your ears, your nose, and your eyes. The sun is starting to set as Shannon fills you in on what he saw, and you all make your choice to pursue the Jarl's daughters as quickly as possible. You would know that their horses are gone, but tracks formed in the snow should help you in the pursuit and make it much easier. The tracks, however, show no signs of violence. And you can see distinctly 4 barefoot, larger human tracks, 1 medium-sized human tracks, and the footprints of a small child, Runa. Was there anything that you want to say or prepare before you begin to follow the tracks into the wilderness?
Torgrim will pick up one of the saber-tooths and put it over his shoulder.
I'd like to point out the saber-tooths are skinned and most of the meat has been chopped up and put into Till's bag.
That's fine.
So you're welcome to carry an untouched
Carcass.
Head or the carcass, yeah. Just
Yeah,
the
he'll
bones.
still carry the carcass.
Okay.
And Gustradh did take a saber tooth, but just one.
Say that 10 times fast. Saber-tooth tooth.
Tip. Yeah.
Torgrim, you throw the beast over your shoulder. Some of the blood gets in the furs as you're able to heave it up there pretty easily with your strength.
And what do you plan to do with that?
I'm gonna make a nice stew out of it for us later.
You're planning to carry that entire thing through the forest?
We gotta eat at some point, don't we?
I hear that there's some very good nutrition in bones making broth.
See? Gustradh here knows what's up.
It's very important to survive out in these cold, frigid lands. Get any sort of resource that you can.
But do you need all of it? Wouldn't the other animals of the forest find us? Not to mention the amount of desecration you're doing to the beast.
I think they've already found us.
Exactly.
If the 2 of you think those are all the beasts in the forest, then I have news for you both.
It'll be fine. We will need to eat in a few hours' time anyways. Don't worry. I'll make us a nice stew for dinner tonight.
Sounds like I won't be able to change your mind. So, I suppose we should get going. Stag, would you like to help me?
With what?
Refinding those steps.
Oh, yes.
Runa must have gotten somewhere.
Well, of course. It shouldn't be too difficult.
Yeah.
I believe we had found them beforehand?
Yeah, I think we found them. They were like heading northeast last we saw.
Yep,
Yeah.
and they're,
Alright.
they're real distinct. You can see each one presses in snow really vividly.
Yeah, upon seeing that, Till's just gonna look at Shauna and be like, "And you didn't know where they went?" As she like gestures with one of her lower hands at the very prominent footsteps in the snow.
You begin to head deeper into the forest. You walk for almost 30 minutes before you reach a distinct landmark, which causes you to pause. You see the Barrow Fist Hills. Those that are familiar with the area would know that the Barrow Fist Hills are 4 rugged round hills which look like knuckles protruding up from the earth. These massive hills tower over the lower ones, and they are very sparsely vegetated and they look extremely steep. And as you approach these 4 massive hills, Silent Stag, with your high perception, you can see a trail which leads in between the two hills, and you can see that the tracks also follow that small little path. You also see that the trail is one of very hard packed earth, and there's plenty rocks that are gray and lifeless compared to the rest of the area around it, almost like the area that goes in between the hills looks dead of vegetation. And then the footprints and the path both curve out of sight in between the 2 hills.
Would I be able to discern if the decaying life is like natural or if it's magical?
Make a nature check.
Surprisingly, not that good at that.
A 19. It is not natural. Is anyone proficient in history?
I am.
Give me a history check. A 10. You would recognize the landmark, and you would know that the landmark here, these Barrowfist Hills, they represent the western border for Jarl Tenfeather's his hall, like his region. And you would know that the region was once very heavily populated by Trollkin, before they all decided to move north to go join the ranks with the Ice Troll King.
Well, from what I see, they seem to have gone in between the 2 hills. That's where the tracks are leading.
Well, I suppose we should take a break here and have 1 or 2 of us scout out ahead, make sure that they're not going to ambush us.
Torgrim will offer to stay back and cook the stew.
I'll be more than happy to help, but I'm not the stealthiest. But I would be able to protect anyone who would like to track and see what else is up there in front of us.
Perhaps it might be
Much willing
best-
to travel forward a little bit to scout if needs be.
Anyone who doesn't shine would be appreciated. Perhaps Gustradh, you should help Torgrim with the meals.
Very well. Maybe I can learn a bit about this cuisine of the north.
You just set yourself up, man.
So Shannon would pull out his book, and in his little journal, he would have, during the short rest, would have sketched a little bit of what he could remember of one of the traders. And I will cast Disguise Self to try to mimic that as best as I can.
Okay.
With my mask of many faces.
Very nice.
Would it be all right if we waited for 10 minutes? Just so that I can do something.
If you think that will give us a better chance of finding them without being caught.
it'll just give us an extra option to find them.
Very well.
And I will take those 10 minutes to ritually cast Speak with Animals.
Okay.
Are we ready to go then?
I believe so.
Lost.
Cool. Yeah, Till will just lead the way, stealthily, while also looking for tracks and see how close we are to them.
All right, all three of you that are going, give me a stealth check. Unless Shannon just wants to like walk ahead. Not sure if you want to sneak in or use your disguise.
I will stand out more open and use my disguise as one of them.
Okay.
As I am not the most stealthy boy.
So do you want to do Shannon up ahead of Till and Silent Stag, or do you want to go them two first and then you kind of follow behind?
I'll follow behind.
Okay. So Till and Silent Stag, you both feel pretty stealthy as you avoid the crunching ice and sticks and stones below your feet as you slowly approach the Barrowfist Hills. In between the two hills where you see the footprints kind of snake their way through, where the ground is lifeless and gray. As you approach, you'll see that the trail that they go into, in between the two hills, it wraps around the corner for a bit, and then it gets very, very tight. It's not straight, so it kind of curves, and then it's only 6 feet wide. And then you can see where their footprints go single file, and they have to walk single file for almost 100 feet before it curves off again away from where you are.
Looks like they're trying to hide their numbers. Looking back at where they decided to group up into like single tracks, how many feet did it look like they have? Have they picked up anyone since they left us?
Nope, nothing jumps out as they got more people join.
Yeah, so it should be like what, like 6 feet and like 6 footprints in total kind of thing?
Yep, the 4 large, Till, and then Runa.
Okay.
But
Yep.
to follow them, you have to just go single file to fit through the small little space, like the little crevice in between the hills.
That should not be an issue. Till is not worried. She'll lead the way.
I will follow after Till.
You both look back quickly. You see Torgrim and Gustradh preparing a campsite to cook the remains of the saber-toothed tiger. You see Shannon walking up with his, looking around, not trying to hide, but being conscious of where he is. And then the two of you step into the little entryway here, single file. You walk for about 40 feet, and then you stop because your stealth is so high and your perception is so good. You can see that from this point on, each step that you take is going to crunch very loud underfoot as the stone is frozen below you, and it looks like it's cracked a bit in the ground. It looks like they have purposely set up a way to hear if something steps here.
Well, I suppose that ends our little adventure. We should head back. I don't think this will be safe. And she'll kind of like bend down and like lightly put one of her like smaller hands just like resting on the stone and kind of like give a little bit of push, not enough to like crack it enough to be heard, but just to feel just how like gentle the ice is.
When you push it, it doesn't give way to you, which would make you believe that if your total weight's not over maybe 150 pounds, you might be able to walk silently across it. But a lot of the more bulkier characters might have a little bit of trouble.
Okay. Then with that knowledge, she'll put her like 1 foot on the ice and kind of like put a little bit of pressure, just about how much like her weight would be. She's like 59 pounds.
Push down on it. Yeah, and no cracks, no sound. You're able to slowly move across if you want to.
Oh, perhaps I misspoke. Stag, you're not that heavy, are you?
Well, I don't believe so. I'm just be like not much heavier than you, I'm sure.
Till will walk a couple steps down and kind of like gesture at the area where the ice starts. Take a step, see if it cracks. If it does, we'll head back.
All right. And I'll just slowly slide 1 foot onto the ice and take that step.
You are light enough, so you step on it. It bows a little bit for you because you're a little bit heavier than Till, but it doesn't make a loud sound.
Well, it seems that we're all right.
Well, that is quite good. The less we need to deal with the other three, the better. I don't trust them much.
Shannon is standing right there. Yeah.
I'm well aware. I'm just hoping that perchance Shannon is just a bit too heavy. And she'll start walking. She's not going to wait to see if Shannon is too heavy for the ice or not.
'Tis always good to be skeptical, young friend.
Still walks ahead, going over the their sound traps pretty easily. You get to
Stag is
the
just gonna-
curve. You going to?
Stag is just gonna look back at Shannon quickly and then say sorry and just follow after Till.
As you slowly glide across the ice, Shannon, I think you're also underweight.
Oh, I'm tiny. I am super tiny.
Yeah, you're underweight too. If you want to go with them, you can.
Yeah, I'll follow.
Yeah, as Shannon's like foot makes like a very like gentle like gliding of like the sound of like boot on ice, you can hear Till just like sigh. Little upset that Shannon's decided to join them, but doesn't say anything.
All right, so I'm gonna jump to the map. I got Gustradh and Torgrim on the map, even though you're not here, so you can see.
Sounds good.
Need to refresh. Quick. All right. There you go. So as you make your way through, the three of you, pretty quietly, pretty silently, the opening eventually expands much larger, and as it expands, you enter a frozen, overgrown area that's hidden between the hills. And as the three of you step out, you can see this. Now it's like a forest area in front of you. First thing that'll jump out looking at this frozen, overgrown area is both Silent Stag and Till. Since you're the two up in the front, you can see on these frozen trees, these frozen branches, bits of ground around, there's these tufts of very dark green coarse hair that are frozen and stuck to the rocks. You can also see steps in the snow. Not just, you can still see the trail. The trail continues to go through this area to your east, but you also see these very large footprints, twice the size of the male humanoids. And you can see these very large 5-finger claw marks that go across some of the stones and some of the trees. Because both of you are from this area, you would notice what the coarse green hair is, and it is the certain sign of a troll.
That's not fun. Yeah, Till will look at the other two and be like, should we continue heading on? If there's a troll here, I don't think it makes sense to possibly anger it.
I don't
Would be unwise.
I agree. As fat as Torgrim is, he can take a hit. I would much rather it be him than me. Perhaps we should clear up the ice if possible. Thinking back on the track, like the ice that we walked across, would there be a way for us to silently break most of it so when the other two walk across, they wouldn't make that much of a noise?
You could. You walked about 80 feet, so it might take you a little bit of time, but you could definitely do that.
Okay. Yeah, I think that's what Till will want to do then. Using
Can I
her,
use?
Quantrill.
Yeah. Can I use like Sacred Flame to help?
Yeah.
I don't know if that like would just blow it up or.
Might take you about. Do you want to do it like just nuke it away quick without really concern of like noise, or do you want to like be really quiet and take like an hour to try to do it.
Yeah, okay.
Shannon would opt to be careful.
Yes.
Yeah, unless the other two said otherwise, Till will definitely start breaking up like the center portion of it just so that the two of them can walk across.
Okay, so you want to take an hour and figure this trail for him? Easy to do.
Yeah.
So, as you're all clearing the ice, as you are about 35 minutes in, silent stag with your perception. Out of the corner of your eye, you would look over, and you would see just a troll. Not a very large troll, but he is still a troll, so he is about 9 feet tall. He looks a little skinny, like he's been a bit starved. But he's peeking out from behind one of the trees, and he's not attacking you. He just kind of is looking, kind of curious at what you're doing, being very cognizant of if you might spot him. You tried to stealth, but he did not beat your pass.
Ugly fucker.
I am just going to keep an eye if he moves towards us in any way or in an aggressive way. I'm not going to acknowledge him, though.
Okay. He's not sure if you see him, so he just kind of picks up and... 10 minutes pass. You guys clear out a really good portion of this, and he just continues to look. He moves a couple steps forward. So curious. Not threatening. He's also a troll. He just kind of gets a little closer. Sniffs the air a little bit. You can see him sniff the air. He just watches.
Well, I don't think Till knows about the troll, right? So until Gold or Stag says something, I'll just be continuing to break the ice.
Yeah. Can I try to make an insight check? Does he seem like if we were to go towards where he is, would he be aggressive?
I'll let you make insight at disadvantage or insight regular roll if you want to look at him. You get a good read on him.
I'll look at him then.
Alright, give me an insight roll. The 19, you whip around and look at the troll. The troll is curious and hungry. You get the sense that if someone was alone, he would try to have a meal. But he is scared that he is outmatched. And as soon as you look at him, he turns around and he starts to run. You see him just lumbering through the trees, just...
Was that the
Alright.
troll?
Yes. He had been there for a little while.
And you didn't think it important to tell us?
I didn't see if I had a reason to.
Now I'm quite worried that it might be warning someone else. Let's speed this up and get it done with.
Takes about 5 more minutes, and by that time you guys have cleared the full trail. Made it safe for your party to join you when they know.
Would we like to head back and inform the rest of them?
Yes, I think that's a good plan.
Just... Sean and Till, do not come over here on your own. It would not be wise.
I was not planning on it.
To be honest, I don't think any part of these lands would be wise to travel by oneself.
Indeed. Groups of 4 I've found are preferred, but the other 2 were too loud. And at that, Till will put her Quantrill away. In her lower, like, sets of smaller arms, she'll have the bow ready to, if need be, get put into her main arms to fight, but then she'll start walking back.
About a 10-minute walk to get back to the group. I mean, all three follow. You guys start to make your way up. About this time, Gustradh, Torgrim, you guys have been cooking. Is there anything that you'd want to like talk about by yourself for about the hour 10 minutes they've been gone? Or do you want to just greet them as they come?
Torgrim would explain what he's doing as he's cooking it and tell him stories about a good friend named Zulkra who taught him how to make it.
Ah, okay. The callback.
Yeah, Gustradh will kind of listen intently. He's kind of an artisan at heart, and is always interested in seeing someone's craft and being out in the wild. He just knows that he'll need to know this information in the future.
So just to see how it goes. I know you don't have cooking supplies, so give me a wisdom or an intelligence check, Torgrim, your choice, with help from advantage because you get help from Gustradh. See how delicious your stew is.
Let's do a wisdom check. Oh no!
A 5. It's edible.
This can only go well.
Maybe he didn't learn that well from Zulkra at all.
So Till, Silent Stag, Shannon, you guys walk up, seeing the fire is made, the saber stew is being cooked. It smells a little different. It smells okay, but you've smelled better stew in your times. And as you guys approach, I'm gonna change the camera to see all 5 of you.
Are we sure that smell won't be attracting anyone? Smells quite peculiar.
We attracted you.
Then perhaps we might want to dunk the stew and move somewhere else.
We will not do that. This is some good A+ saber-toothed stew that I've made for all of you.
I don't know what the first letter of the word has to do with this, but I suppose we could give it a try.
Shannon will take a quick taste of it.
You've had much better in your time.
Is Shannon like hiding their distaste for the stew?
Yes, I am.
I'm gonna insight you.
Gotta be 23.
To some of the finest stew I've had in the Northlands.
I'm glad. I'll have to make some more for us on our adventures.
All right. Well, I suppose with that,
Shannon will vomit a little on the inside, but not visibly.
Till and Silent Stag, with your passives, you can see that the troll has made his way through the little crevice between the hills, is looking in your direction, and you can see him sniff the air as he smells. Like, and he looks over.
Yeah. Till will crouch down and put her bow in her hand and be like, "We've got a visitor. Be careful."
What kind of visitor? Would they like some stew?
One that weighs almost as much as you,
Okay.
I imagine. Perhaps might like the stew.
I
Well,
suppose there's no harm in giving him the soup. I mean, I don't need my bowl.
Troll gets a little brave, maybe out of hunger, maybe he feels good about himself, but he pokes his way out and he reveals himself for the first time and like just stares at the 5 of you. Not sure how to react. He's trying to get a sense of the situation.
Torgrim would attempt to speak to him in Narn and ask him if he wants to come have some.
He responds in Narn, but it's very broken. It's like very slow too. No hurt. And then he points to himself.
No hurt. Come, sit. Have some stew with us. You look hungry.
Takes a couple steps forward. He looks at everyone's weapons and pauses for a second. Just tries to get a sense of the situation for everyone else.
And Stag. Oh boy. Can Stag put down her bow and get a bowl of soup?
Okay.
And take some slow steps towards him, holding out the soup to him.
As you walk forward holding the soup out, he's going to take a step back first out of just fear. Then he stops and he starts to understand the situation a little bit more. He doesn't seem to be the brightest bulb in the shed. Then he slowly walks up to you.
Till's gonna ready an action. If any form of aggression from this troll happens, she's shooting it.
Goodbye. And he points to himself.
Friend?
Yes.
Goodbye.
He takes the bowl from you if you let him.
Mhm.
And he eats the whole thing. Eats the bowl and the stew.
Nice.
I go over, I like nudge Torgrim, like not nudge, but like just kind of bend over to whisper to him and say like, "What just happened?"
Torgrim will whisper back, say, "He was hungry, so we gave him some stew. He seems quite hungry, seeing as he also ate the bowl." With a puzzled look on his
Seems
face.
like he might have liked the bowl more than the stew.
Seeing Shannon pull out the notebook, the troll looks over at him really quick, a little scared. Oh! He points to himself. Friend?
Friend.
Why, yes. Yes, friend.
He waves at Shannon. Goodbye.
Shannon will give him a nice friendly wave.
He smiles and he just walks over and sits right next to the soup or the stew. Just plops down.
Yet again look to Torgrim in the word and says, "Are we getting anything out of this? Is he gonna tell us anything?"
As Gustradh says that, does it seem like the troll understands what he says?
Sorta, yeah, but it seems like he might mispronounce or like misunderstand what words mean.
Okay. I'll whisper back to Gustradh, be like, "I'm not sure yet, but we could ask him where his tribe is or his people."
Would... I don't know a whole lot about trolls as like a meta thing. Would Shannon know if they were more familiar with like Fey language?
There's a couple different kinds. The trolls are kind of split into two categories. There's the trolls that still have regeneration. In Erenel, regeneration is extremely painful when they have it. So when they heal, it hurts really bad. So it drives a lot of trolls to madness from the pain. And they go to great lengths to not hurt themselves. But they've learned how to remove that regeneration. They call it a curse. So when they remove it, their intelligence increases and they become the trollkin. So this guy is one of the before trollkin. So he's like a very unintelligent, still has regeneration. And he might be losing his sanity because the regeneration is extremely painful. They're usually tribal.
Okay.
Not really attached to Fae, more of just a strange creation in the world.
Okay.
More
I'm
like
just wondering
giantkin.
Okay. So it wouldn't matter what language I spoke to him in then. Okay.
Out of curiosity, Till is going to, using her second set of hands, she's going to, like, hit her forearms against each other and, like, against her side. It looks very weird for anyone else watching her, but she's basically, in broken, she's going to ask the troll if the food is good and see if he responds.
He looks at you kind of confused. Oh. And then he points at the stew. And then he points at his mouth.
I'll respond by saying, eat in broken.
He kind of looks at Shauna and then he kind of looks at Stag. Funny words. Friend. And then he takes his hand and he hits himself on top of the head. Then he points at Till.
Can I insight to try and get what he meant by that?
Sure. With a 7, you kind of get the sense that he's asking if you took a hit to the head and you're dumb.
She'll respond in Norn. No, far from it. Friend?
Friend. He waves at you. Goodbye.
Farewell.
I just want to
She'll
point out
shake
that
her head.
Shannon is writing more and more excitedly in his little journal the longer this goes on.
He points at the stew again. Who make delicious stew?
Torgrim will proudly prop up and say, "I did. Thank you for enjoying it. Have more."
Gustradh will take a bowl and take some soup before all the soup is gone. As he is being excluded from the conversation, not knowing this language.
Not having a bowl, the troll just takes his hand and just dips it into the burning hot soup and just slurps it.
Do I get it before that happens?
Yeah, he waited for you.
Okay. Okay.
Did you want any of the soup?
I wasn't planning on it originally, but after that, definitely no. And she'll sit cross-legged and go through her bag and grab some rations and chew on those.
All right.
The troll looks at your rations.
In Norn, she's gonna just look at him in the eyes. Mine.
He nods and looks a little glum. Okay. If no one stops him, the troll will now just sit here and eat the rest of the stew.
I don't need to eat. I'm fine.
He's gonna sit here and just keep slurping, burning his hand in the process.
Yeah, Torgrim would have already had his bowl, so you can have all the rest.
Like a curious zoologist, Shannon is just watching every movement the troll makes and just taking notes.
As the troll just keeps slurping, he's taking fire damage, so he's not regenerating, so he's just slowly burning his hand as he does it. And then eventually he finishes the stew. Then a little bit of time passes, then you start to see his hand start to heal. And as his hand starts to heal, he cries out in pain. He starts to slam his hand on the ground as it starts to regenerate around his arm. Takes a couple minutes to pass, and then he shakes it. And it's back to normal. And the stew is gone.
What a shame.
Torgrim would ask him where his tribe is.
Other friends left many suns ago. Left me by alone.
Do you know how many men are around you? And she'll gesture at to where they came from, where he followed them.
Many men. Big winged men.
And she'll Till will just show her hand to count as for 5, and then she'll do it with her next one and keep going until she does all 20 digits and see if he stops at any point, assuming he can count.
He watches you do it and he just keeps nodding the entire time. When you get to 20.
And Stag
More
walk
than
up
that?
next to her and start going on all the way up to 30.
Then he goes, big. Small. Then he tries to make his arms kind of flap like wings. And then very big. And he does this.
What do you mean by wings?
Flaps wings and flies like bird.
Flaps wings have 2 legs?
4 legs. Kind of confused a little bit. He says 4 legs.
Do people sit on creature with wings?
Oh, creature get mad. Eat people that do.
Wings like these? And she'll her wings will kind of like puff out a little bit to show the moth-like stylization to them, or feathers.
Hard like bark, but flesh.
Till will like go down to the ground and like hit like a rock next to her foot. Hard like rock.
Not as hard, but close.
Would Till know anything from the Northlands that would fill that description?
I was about to ask, what would Shannon also from that description?
Make
Do
it,
any of us know anything?
make an intelligence check, or look at Mudkips in chat. Scales is what he's talking about.
It would sound similar to that of the dragon.
Is the great beast evil or captured? And she'll kind of like hold her hands as though to like imitate her lower hands, or like a pair of manacles on her upper hands.
Small ones give things to the big one.
And the small ones have wings as well, or are those the humans?
Those are like you. And he points at all of you. They no share food.
Well, it sounds like we might be a little bit over our heads, but I think if we tread carefully, this shouldn't be too much of a problem.
It would be unusual for a witch to cohort with that of dragon kind.
I've heard rumors of humans that are actually dragons. Could that be something? Could the hag be not a hag?
Would be unusual, but perhaps that would explain the fixation with the Jarl and his particular family. Perhaps the dragon seeks to expand its territory. It is not uncommon.
Are any of you guys saying this in the word?
Whenever I'm not talking to the troll, I'm talking in the word, unless I say otherwise.
I assume we were still talking in Narn.
Okay, then yeah, two different languages back and forth then. You get about 50% of the conversation.
I mean, isn't it an ability, since like it's still the same, like Iswan and Narn are like similar under the same dialect?
You can make an intelligence check. We'll see how much you can pick up. Do a dialect check. A 13 is pretty good. So 13, you're able to understand what they're saying, but you don't pick up any like slang or any like peculiarities, but you are able to understand conversation.
Okay, but I would not be able to speak it then. I just can understand it.
Yep.
Okay.
Well, I suggest we get a rest here. I don't think Runa or Casa will be getting anywhere. Then we hunt them down in the dead of night. From my understanding, humans can't see that well in the dark, but I imagine we all can. Well, except for you, Shannon, who is also a human. So, perhaps a...
With that, I'll realize I haven't actually, like, disguised myself. Well, friend, I'm actually a sun elf. So as far as night is concerned, it is of no concern to me.
I have no idea what that is, but congratulations.
Some would call it a curse. At least upon this era.
I guess you have not come across too many minotaurs, but I do not have any blessing of seeing in darkness.
You're a first. That is
Shannon will bend over and grab a rock, and I'll cast light if there's one around me, and I'll toss it over at Gustradh.
The troll runs. Ah! What that?
Gustradh will catch it and look at Shannon.
Just a
Maybe
trick
he
of the
won't.
bond, friend. Nothing to be of concern. And then I'll point at the troll and I'll say, friend.
Gets a little closer. He nods. He's also starting to realize there's no more food. So you can see he's starting to get a little impatient and he's starting to rock a little bit. Like a kid when they're at the grocery store and they want to do something. They're starting to rock back and forth.
Take out a ration and just hand it to him.
As you go to hand it, he's going to grab you by your, like under your wrist. He's going to pick you up and he's going to put your entire hand in his mouth. Take the ration. He's like, "Harr." Then he's going to pull out your hand covered in spit.
At that point, my arrow would not have flown from my bow, but I definitely would be aiming at him as soon as the hand gets even close to the mouth.
So he drops you on the ground and you're just covered in globs of spit. And then the troll is chewing as he looks over it too. As he's chewing on the ration.
Don't eat, my friend.
My friend, he points at Stag.
Mine first.
Mine bigger.
I can assure you, friend, the size does not matter. I have taken down things many bigger than you.
Gustradh is awkwardly like cleaning up camp.
And
No, still friend.
I'm told,
Friends.
Till, that that concept depends upon context, for which this I don't think the size of friendship truly matters, but that we are friends.
I was not talking about my size of friendship with Stag. That makes no sense. I was talking about killing beasts larger than the troll.
Troll gets really close to Shannon. No friend, she points at Stag, and then she points at Shannon. Bigger friend?
And he'll just raise up his hands. Why, yes.
He thinks you want to hug him, so he's going to give you a huge hug and lift you up off the ground.
Yeah, at that, Till put her bow away.
So it's just like swing your legs under you, just like awkwardly. Just whoosh, whoosh.
Yes, friends.
Then he's going to let it go. Drop you in the snow. Time for sleep. He rubs his stomach. He just lays down next to everyone, next to the fire.
How late is it right now?
So you're getting close to it's dusk. You can see the sun starting to set. You have maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours before sun's fully gone.
So if we got like 8 hours of sleep right now, we would wake up before the sun's risen then?
Yep. Like 2 a.m.-ish, 2 or 3 a.m.
Okay. Well, I agree with the troll. I think it's time to rest.
Yes,
I
I believe
agree.
it. Any other time? Do we want people to be watching for us?
I would prefer that.
Torgrim would
I
offer
don't-
to take the first watch.
I don't technically sleep, so I will offer to take whatever watches we need.
And do Torgrim first, Shannon second. Shannon can take a huge portion of it.
Till is still going to watch one way or another. She'll probably watch the first shift.
Okay. Till and Torgrim on
Ain't it-
one.
I could do the last.
I can also
See the dawn.
help with the last.
Okay. So Gustradh, Shannon, and Silent Stag, you all lay down to sleep in your own different ways. As the troll is also sleeping. Looks like he's getting his first full rest in quite some time. Torgrim is sitting awake, listening to the sounds. And Locke is awake with you. Is there anything you want to talk about? You could chat privately, or we can jump to the next watch.
Torgrim,
Yes.
what's it like being a dwarf?
It's quite pleasant, though I am shorter than most people. It's quite
Most people are
pleasant.
dwarves. Are you short for your kind?
No, I would say I'm about average for my kind. But it is nice. I love my beard. He'll just like groom his beard a little bit and be like, I love the size of my beard. I love all the ale. I can drink all the ale I want. I can drink anybody under the table. The food is good.
How would one drink someone under a table?
Well, the premise is that you drink so much that eventually the other person falls over and just ends up sleeping underneath the table.
Do dwarves often fall asleep watching others drink? That seems weird. Has that never been used against you?
They can if they drink too much, and nothing against me. I've never lost.
Oh, they're the ones drinking. I see.
Well, me too, but I just drink more than them till they pass out.
And is that why you also eat so much?
Indeed it is. He'll like pat his stomach and be like, all the food around here is amazing. You should eat some more of it sometime.
I assume when Torgrim pats his stomach, I can like hear the food, just kind of like.
Boom, boom.
I don't have that much of an appetite. Definitely not one as large as yours. My kind were much more to the point. No, nothing extra.
Fair enough. What is it like being a bug?
Again, I'm not sure what a bug is, but if you're asking what it's like being myself, it is quite nice. My hive, the Tokchaka clan, we are quite a few of us, and we work together. No drinking others under the table or anything along that line. We work as a group.
Fair enough.
You see
Well-
the troll slowly reach his arm out. He's asleep. And he puts his arm around Gustradh as they're sleeping next to each other. I don't know if that would wake Gustradh if he's a heavy sleeper, but the troll like puts his arm around you and keeps sleeping away. And you both see it.
Do you
Oh,
think the
what-
troll's female?
I'm not sure, to be honest. I don't know the anatomy of a troll.
I suppose I don't either. I've only seen them in passing. I try to avoid them.
I don't know. Well, I'm glad to have you around, Till. You seem like a very nice person. Aside from wanting to kill a child, of course.
I don't think you understand what that child entails to their tribe.
What do you think that it entails?
I think it entails a chance to ruin everything that Tenfeather holds dear. The Rook shadow might not last that long if something that evil can just manifest itself and be untreated.
Well, from what I've heard, stuff like that is just a curse. You can always break a curse. without murder.
Or you could fail, and that curse could spread, could it not?
It could. And then you'd have to murder the child, but I mean, like, not murdering the child isn't the first step.
So,
it's like the third.
murdering the child after it's done its damage is okay, but not preventing it? How does that work out?
Well, you want to try everything you can to not have to kill the child and let it, you know, have a good life.
I don't agree with that, but I think for the betterment of what everyone's trying to do and get from the Jarl, perhaps saving the child might be a priority.
Exactly. We'll see what happens when we find them.
But if that child attacks me or Stag, it will go down.
Fair enough. And I will help defend you as well.
That is appreciated. Unless there's anything else you wish to speak of, I should be getting some rest.
Me as well. We'll speak about this another time.
Yeah, at that, Till will wake up Stag with just like a gentle like push on the shoulders with one of her smaller sets of hands and just nods like, your time to stay awake. And then without seeing if Stag is actually going to get up or not, she'll walk over to one of the nearby trees and start climbing up it and just like resting on a hammock between two of the branches.
Okay. So Stag, as you slowly start to wake up, Shauna would also wake up because you're an elf. You don't need to sleep that long. You feel fully rested too. You both wake up. Torgrim lays down, and you can see Gustradh laying there sleeping with the troll, the arm around the troll. IPA and Kayla, thanks for the subs. You can wake up Gustradh. You can let him sleep through the night. But you both have started your watch. You can talk anything you want to, or you can just we can skip ahead when you wake up.
Did I
Shauna will
actually get?
immediately. Oh, sorry.
Did I get woken up, or I'm still sleeping?
You're still sleeping unless one of the two wake you
Yeah.
up.
All right.
Or Torgrim walks
Shauna's
over and wakes
immediately
up.
going to start writing in his little notebook. So
Seeing that Shannon isn't waking Gustradh up, I'm just gonna walk over to kind of where Gustradh is on the side and just nudge him a couple times.
And Gustradh will slowly kind of wake up and then realize that he has an arm over him. And because he is a hefty boy, he is able to get out of it relatively easy.
Do you want to like throw it off and wake up the troll, or do you want to try to like sneak out without waking up the troll?
I would not. I would be startled. Gustradh would be startled, but would not want to startle the troll, since he barely understood a very broken language and is very wary of the troll.
You slowly finesse your way out from under the troll as the troll continues to sleep and snore.
He'll start stretching a bit. So it's our time for watch then.
it would seem you made a friend, Gustradh.
Yeah, I didn't really understand much of the conversation, but from what I could pick up, the troll really wanted to make friends, but never seemed to ask if I was a friend.
I think it was more concerned with food, to be honest.
Yeah, it's just odd. I guess.
Kindness is a rarity in these lands.
It is a cold and unforgiving land, from what I've heard and so far I've seen. What do you write in that book of yours? You seem to be using it often.
Well, most of us are cursed in life. Mine is to be that of an academic. Born of the Royal College and forever instilled in its values and virtues. Which often tales, taking notes and obtaining knowledge, especially in a way that can be shared with others.
So ultimately, you'll be sharing this information.
Oh, as time and necessity dictate, yes.
You seem to probably have quite a bit of time on your hands with your life. How old are you?
Double check. Oh, quite old by most standards, but still young for mine. About 180.
I am a bit jealous, but also not. Do you guys, either of you, have much knowledge of these lands? I'm sure as an academic, you probably have quite a bit of information in that book, and others.
Most in culture and legend. And of course language, but there's still much to learn. I can navigate through cities, their various intricacies, but out in the wire or the wilderness, aside from more common beasts and foes, I will admit some ignorance on those subject matters.
I believe I might be able to help you fill in those gaps. I haven't been around too many cities at all for my short life compared to yours. But I do know forests and beasts and how to live.
From what I can gather and from life experience, cities are no different than the wilderness. Wild and dangerous, but full of wonder if you look.
Oh, yes.
Well, we never really quite got a proper introduction. I am aware of your names from our announcement, and we have broken bread and shed blood, but my name is Gustradh Nimbleheart. And he kind of puts a hand out to Stag first, and she's closest.
Just look confusedly at the hand.
And as a very awkward moment, goes over to Shannon and offers his hand.
And Shannon will return one of the weakest handshakes you'll ever have in your life.
And Gustradh might have like a bit of a power handshake.
Shannon Anwar of the Willow's Shadow.
My name is Silent Stag.
Well, it's a pleasure to meet you both, and hopefully we can survive this all together. I would be very interested to hear of your tales.
Perhaps we can share some stories once we return back to town.
Gustradh?
Yes, Stag?
I might have a bit of a question for you.
I may have an answer.
This matron you talk about, who is she?
The Matron of Ravens as a deity that I follow. She is one that is cold and unforgiving, but focuses very much on preventing any sort of necrotic magic. I have trained and focused on following her ways, and trying to root out any sort of negative magic of that sort. But I've been traveling quite a bit, just looking for clues, information, trying to find my way throughout this world.
Well, I will say I do not envy you in following such a deity as her.
So there are many viewpoints on her. The town that we have just come from follows her as well, and maybe they would have a better way of describing her to you. I am not one for words. Check sheet, charisma high.
Well, I just know that I may not follow her, but I hope you find what you're looking for in her. Through her.
I hope I do as well. But, maybe we'll be able to find answers together.
Not Till. Stag will just tap a little carving into like the shoulder of her, like a little emblem on the shoulder of her furs, and it's just a little bow and arrow crossed through it.
Ah.
You're
So
not
you
the
are-
only one.
Well, I believe that there's no ill will between our two gods, but it's good to know that there is someone of the hunt in our party.
Well, my name reflects it.
I see. Who named you then?
Myself.
You have no parents?
Well, I have someone who gave me life, but I do not have what some might consider parents, like those two children were to the Jarl and their mother. My creation is unique in that way.
Interesting.
You would have. It's still very. You slept for 8 hours now. It's still very early in the morning, so it's still dark out. But Torgrim will start to stir now. Talaka will start to stir now, as you've had your enough rest to fulfill your long rest. The troll's still sleeping though. It is still dark. But as you're talking, you can see Torgrim start to move, to rub his eyes. I'm assuming Stag would know that Talaka likes to sleep in trees, so you would know where Talaka is. But now you can either continue, you can wake up the troll, you could try to leave the campsite without the troll knowing that you're leaving. But it is about 3 o'clock in the morning. It is still dark out, but it's not so dark that Gustradh won't be able to see. There is still the moonlight to kind of guide his way a little bit. He just has a disadvantage for perception stuff. It is now the 5th of Narvan. However you all would like to proceed.
Well, while everybody's getting up, Gustradh, as a paladin of the Matron of Ravens, a little thing that I heard on my way here, does the name Mavkai ring any or mean anything to you?
Should I make a roll, Bruce?
Make a history check. 6. It faintly rings a bell, but you're not sure where to place it. You're certain you've heard the name before, but you're not sure where it might have came from.
Mavkai. I feel like I've heard that name, but can't put a face or a story behind it. Who's that?
It would be a lich. It was
How?
last seen in the Serpine Eyes, along with a collection of visions and prophecies. The fey creatures that we encountered on our way to the Jarl's city spoke of dangers to the east, which may be due to such a creature. Perhaps it would be worth looking into at least when we are done with this task.
I've traveled alone for very long, and I'm happy to hear that you are interested in joining me. But what has you interested in the Lich?
Would be that I am a academic by nature and profession, but the Willow's Shadow is a particular sect that is more interested in the active aspects of knowledge and application, in particular to those that would prevent this realm from calamity, and liches are, well, problematic as former wizards and other terrible kin.
Very well. I appreciate your information. I've come up short quite a bit on finding any sort of undead, but this is quite a lead. Hopefully the other party sees it the same as you.
No, I trust they will.
And as the morning rises, I think Gustradh will kind of say a silent prayer to Yana.
Okay. You all see Gustradh make a prayer to the matron. You all get up, gather your things.
Dag will try to find out which tree that Till is in.
Not an easy task, surprisingly. If Till has awoken, she's decided to eavesdrop in on you guys instead of join the conversation. But I feel like Stag, you'd know that Till has a particular hammock she typically uses when resting in the forests. Nothing too outlandish, just like a dusty white with some like blue embroidering on the sides. It doesn't take you long to find it, I imagine.
Till, it's time to go.
Well, if we're all done talking, then yes, we should get going. And at that, you just see her just like pull like a string as she like rolls out of the hammock, and it just like collapses with her, and she just lands on her feet. And she kind of like tucks it into her bag. All right, is everyone else ready? Well, let's not actually speak too loud. I'd rather that troll not follow us. I imagined it wouldn't be that good at staying hidden.
Do you call many people friends and leave them behind?
If it means that it won't eat me, then yes. But there's not many friends in a world like this. No, come. We can talk more while we walk. If that's what you want to do.
Dag will just lag behind a moment to leave 4 more sets of rations behind for the troll.
Shannon will also do the same, as he doesn't really eat a lot anyway.
Okay. There's 8 rations left for the troll, and the troll wakes. The 5 of you start to push out. You make your way towards, assuming the trail.
Yes.
Yep.
You head deeper into the Barrow Fist Hills. You come to that same gap in the hill. Let's bring up this map.
Alright, well, watch your steps. We've removed most of the ice, but immediately past this narrow passage, it'll open up into a large area with ice. If you step on it, it will be quite loud. And they will know we're coming, I imagine. And Till will guide the group through the chunks that they've removed from the ice.
You head through single file, jumping over stuff, able to do so pretty quietly thanks to the time they spent earlier the day before. You step out into the larger pass here, and you can still make out the tracks. It's a little harder to make out than before, but you're still able to make out the tracks thanks to your chosen classes and subclass.
I legit thought that was a spider on the map.
I was like, where? Did I goof and get another big spider?
The fern.
Are any of the steps from the previous evening still pressed into the snow?
Yep, so the same trail's there. It's definitely filling up a bit, but you're still able to just slowly make it out. You don't see any new footprints, which is, I think, a sigh of relief for everyone. Nothing seems to have made its way through this way. And then you continue through this little part of the forest, and as you continue on, the forest eventually ends. You see the trail continue out past the forest, and it goes into a frozen plain. This frozen plain is dotted with these small bogs. The moor here, it runs from your current position where you are right now for almost a mile to the opposite side of the forest edge, and you can see the trail go all the way across. The winter wind here blows much crisper than where you are now because there's no cover. So it will send a chill through even the heaviest of your hides. And you can see that some of these occasional bogs are frozen over, yet if you step in one, you might get a cold foot of water or something worse below, depending on where you step. There is no cover here, which should leave you feeling exposed, but it is the fastest route to follow the tracks. However, you also see that there's a secondary route which lies about an hour to your north. So if you want to take a higher ground, you could head an hour to the north, which adds more time to your getting to wherever they are, but it might be a bit safer to cross.
Are there footprints on this other trail? Do they split up, or is it the main one going across the plains?
Main one goes across the plains through the bog, the frozen bog.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know about the rest of you, but my hunter's hunch is saying we keep going this way through the plains.
Torgrim would agree. The faster we get to them, the faster we can save the girls.
I'll trust your judgment.
I don't like being exposed like this, but I'm not familiar with these lands, and I will allow people who have better judgment than I to take action.
I feel like for one who chooses to be so shiny and large, you should be expecting to be noticed.
Noticed, but not dead.
Well, I respect that thought at the very least. And Till will walk across the trail, making sure each of her footprints are in existing footprints.
The winds are going to pick up here. The winds will be loud as you cross the trail. The trail you follow into the frozen bog is pretty uneventful until you reach a frozen river. Ahead, you can see that someone must have built a wooden walkway to cross this river, yet it has fallen into disrepair and it lies crumbled in front of you. The ice of the frozen river cracks around you. You can hear the little cracks. If you've ever been close to a river when it's frozen, you can sort of hear the shifting of the ice, which gives you the impression that the footsteps might be safe, but it also needs to be very careful when you cross. You can also see midway through the river here, there's a half-frozen carriage which lies stuck inside. Its wheel bearings are shattered. The doors and windows are completely submerged. And you can also see the unfortunate riding horse skeletons are frozen in close proximity to the wagon there. And then the bog continues on the opposite side. It continues on. So what I need to know from all of you as you kind of scan the area, you don't see any threats right away. How would you like to cross the frozen river? We can make this a skill check if you want to do it that way, or you guys could talk it out if you have another idea of how you want to do it. That's up to you. That's the skill challenge, if anyone's unfamiliar with that. Each of you have to announce a skill that you want to use to aid the entire group into crossing this frozen river. And then all of you would make a roll with your skill check. And if the collective is higher than the DC, then you would succeed.
I would like to intimidate.
You're gonna yell at the ice?
The frozen
Screw you, ice! Ah!
We shall pass.
That is what lies before you.
Yeah, Till's gonna like go up to the edge of the river and like try and see like how deep it could possibly be if the ice broke, and she'll like use her foot to like push against the ice to see how strong it is. And kind of like using that and some of her previous knowledge, she's gonna try and do a survival skill for the challenge.
Okay.
Because I imagine stealth does not make much sense. Just sneak past the water.
It won't even see you.
D&D for awesome with the raid.
To,
Intelligence?
yeah, I was gonna use intelligence to see if I could study like how thick the ice was, how strong it could possibly be. But
You could
Till's doing
do...
that.
You could do nature. Hey, what's up, guys? Thanks for the raid. Hope you had a good stream.
Woo woo.
Woo.
Can I maybe use investigation?
Okay. The investigation on the skill challenge. Sean?
Just, like get as much knowledge into like how that would have fell over if that was due to the ice, like any information I can use through investigation as we traverse.
Definitely. D&D for awesome. Thank you for the follow. Shin tossing out 5 gifted subs. Thanks, Shin. Sid Walker, PR Scorpio, Initiative Christmas, Ers Bet, and Kitty Cats. Thanks, man. Appreciate it. Emotes. I got survival. Till. I got investigation from Shannon.
Stag will try to look over at the other, that middle island, and see if there's any way that we could tie a rope there to try to keep people from falling or getting lost in the river if they were to fall, and see if there'd be any feasible way.
Sounds like perception.
Perhaps secure more. Sure.
Perception for Stag.
Torgrim's gonna do athletics. To basically
Eat us across.
to basically run across the ice, but also to help anybody who might slip.
Okay.
As
Yeah, that's
Torgrim's.
cool. As long as you don't Naruto run across you, alright?
Could I, I have 2 ideas, but I feel like it's already something that Till is already doing. I have some javelins that I would probably want to use to test the thickness of the ice by tapping it down, seeing if there's any sort of cracks or anything like that. Or I could try to give the squad a pep talk and hand out pointers or something like that. Like, hey, maybe you should be a little bit lighter on those clawed feet, Till.
That sounds like performance or persuasion, but I think you're good at both of them.
Persuasion, I have proficiency.
You want to persuade them with a pep talk?
Yeah.
Gustradh.
I like the idea of Gustradh, the cheerleader. That's great. I like that.
But he does it in a very like monotone, like unemotional. But he is able to choose the right words. He's had not a whole lot of time with you guys, but he knows the buttons and he'll push those buttons.
Okay. So all of you give me a skill check with your assigned skill for the challenge. Uh-oh. Gustradh, no!
I do not know my button words, I'll have you know.
I will.
You wanna use your advantage?
Yeah. I will use my advantage.
I can give you another deception check to make you feel better, like I did with Torgrim.
Yeah, can you? The monotone did not go over well.
So I got Gustradh at a 12, Shannon at a 24, Torgrim at an 8, Tilak at 11, and Stag at a 10.
That was painfully average.
I mean, would you like to use your advantage, Torgrim?
You
I
can if
got
you want the
faith that
22.
we passed.
You want to use your
I had-
advantage?
No, I'm good. I
Okay.
have faith that we passed.
So luckily, because Gustradh uses his advantage and because Shannon rolled really well, you guys just make it. So, Talaka, you walk up to the ice, and as you get a sense of how deep it is, it's about 20 feet deep. It's a very deep river, which gives you cause. And as you relay this to the group, Gustradh starts to speak, and as he does, he starts to go into this loud coughing fit, which for a second kind of throws you guys off, but he's able to regain his composure, and then he gives a pretty good speech. You all feel like you've gained something from it as the pep talk takes hold. Torgrim starts to step onto the ice, and as you do, you start to you hear this loud crack from the just then you freeze and you stop, and as you stop, Silent Stag points across from you. You can kind of see a little ways to get across with her as she points across the other side, and then Shannon is going to move ahead of Torgrim and start to tap the ice to see where it's not as, it's a little more frozen. And then with him tapping and with Silent Stag kind of guiding you guys across, you're able to successfully make it across. Almost taking a little ice bath, but you're able to make it the other side. Then before you is a pretty rickety bridge. This bridge is going to have a little bit of trouble getting you to the other side, but you will be able to walk across it. But I'm going to need deck saves from all of you as you attempt to cross one by one. Unless you want to try to do another way without crossing this bridge.
Till have confidence in herself. She just starts going.
Still rushes across. Johnny with a 12 rushes across.
Using the columns on the side as
Yeah,
for support.
A saving throw or a check?
A save. I think it's the same for Torgrim.
I don't know who's playing Shauna
Oh,
tonight,
I
but
used
it's
to
not
check.
me with these
It's
rolls.
Gustradh, you barely made it, but you made it.
I feel it, man. I feel it.
I'm getting the bad rolls out now for those smites later.
You rush across the ice, making it to the other side. As Gustradh runs across the bridge, you can hear you can see behind him a little bit, some of the pieces start to bow in, and he loses his footing for a second, then he falls out. And just for the sake of a little visual, Torgrim and Shannon both give me acrobatics checks. As you both reach out to grab Gustradh and pull him to the other side. You both reach out to grab him, and he slips, and then he's like hanging off of the bridge for a second, and then you're able to just get enough of his hand to pull him over, but it's very awkward. He's on the other side.
It's that weak handshake.
Shannon will visibly struggle.
I just imagine him like having his hand out for a weak handshake, just kind of like dangling.
Hold on.
Take my strong hand. Take my small hand.
You march on beneath the boughs of the forest in the waning moments of sunlight, or in the waning moments of the sunrise. You come upon a shocking scene.
Rune is a dragon.
If you really want to get a picture of what this looks like, you want to max out the entire picture.
We were given permission to do that. I will do it.
Just so you can take in a full scale before I give you what you're saying.
That's cool.
Confirm they're aliens and they built the structure.
It's a crop circle.
Well, they can see it from space.
Before you lies an enormous mound of earth, expertly carved and cared for, with the edges of the mound slowly or showing trimmed greenery. There's rocks placed in strategic places that act as stepping stones to go up higher onto the barrow. The enormous mound is shaped with care. It looked like a winged creature, with standing stones placed in a line resembling its spine. The stones would lead you up to these large stone-like structures. From where you can see it from your vantage point, until you get closer, as you kind of look at these stones, you can see that there are various Salian clan markings engraved on each stone.
Graves?
Possibly.
Oh, just marking. Okay, sorry.
Like this one has like a very prominent image of the Blood Eagle clan. This one has a very prominent image of the Ivory Tusk clan. Each one all the way down has an image of one of the additional clans. So as you approach this burial, you're also following the footprints, and the footprints lead up to the center of this expertly crafted creation. But as all of you approach this mound, I think we should take a quick 5-minute break before you get to the next part of this adventure.
Oh boy.
So chat, we'll be right back, and I'll warn you beforehand, right before we get to this. When we get back, they're going to have to solve a riddle to find entrance into this barrow, so we'll see how they do.
Oh no.
Oh no.
We'll be back in a couple minutes, chat. We'll see you here soon. Be right back.
Bye-bye.
All right. As everyone gets back, we'll keep on going. Unmuted, too. I was enjoying the conversations between everyone. See some of the backstory reveals and rumor reveals and stuff. Thank you, Legion.
I felt that was a perfect time to drop the whole Lich thing, you know?
Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah.
It was a good call. I had to mute one of the Discord channels because I was getting pinged all the time. I was like, I'm not looking at the memes right now.
Oh, I'm sure there's memes.
They've already started.
This is going to go from...
Suggest.
Go ahead.
I was just say super suggest turn streamer mode on for Discord. You won't get any notifications without having to mute servers.
Yeah, it's pretty nice. This is about to go 1 to 100 real quick now that you're here.
I may have contributed while the first shift of the night was talking.
If you want to see the memes that they're doing in Discord, hop in, check them out.
Join the community.
Everyone's
I'm back.
here. Let's do it.
I just appreciate that I am not playing a character that's going to get memed the entire campaign this time.
Yeah. Everyone.
As much as I can't escape Yuska.
Hello, little buddy.
Little buddy.
As you slowly approach this large mound of earth, this burial mound,
Uh-oh.
the footsteps go up, each layer one at a time, using the stones, the steps. Eventually they disappear right here.
Looks like the video is messed up.
Oh.
Overlay.
Yep. There we go.
Everyone can see my size doesn't matter. As you make your way up, the forest here is calmer than where you just came from. The winds have died down. They relieve you of that cold chill. Under the largest centermost stone, brambles have formed something very unique. The brambles twist and turn and make writing. And the writing is immediately picked up by Silent Stag because it is written in Wild, the language of the common fae, the woodland tricksters, and the treants. I'm gonna make this pop up. So this is gonna pop up for everybody. I'll have to tell you what the words say, but you also see what each of the stones shows on it when I make the pop up to you. And if you lose it, it'll be in the journal stuff too.
Now, would I be able to make out any of that because I speak River Court?
Yeah, if you want to make an
dialect.
intelligence check.
I do. I gotta use
7?
my advantage for that.
Ready to finish? Okay. So 17, yeah, you're able to read this too. Let me make sure I can get this so you can see it if you need to. Wow. So as you walk up, Silent Stag and Shannon, you both read the writing in this bramble written in the wild, and it says, Rend Fang clan will rise. Only through force can one break our line. But if passage one seeks, then they might find friend in our clan of cunning minds. And then the stones from top to bottom, so top being 1 and the very bottom being 7, shows a painting of a member of the clan, each clan, doing a different action. And then each stone has an indentation for a hand to be pushed into the stone, like an activation. That's how you stick your hand in there. So the very top is the Blood Eagle clan shooting a bow. Number 2 is Ivory Tusk clan casting Eldritch Blast. Third is an Oakhammer clan wielding a Warhammer. The 4th is the Pale Mammoth clan wielding a Great Axe. The 5th is Rook Shadow casting Vicious Mockery. 6 is the Snow Wolf clan casting Ray of Frost. And 7 is the Wolfheart clan casting Firebolt. This is 1. And down here is 7. Besides the what's written in Bramble, the Ren Fang clan all the way through the cunning mines. And then the 7 stones are before you, and that is all that you see, except for the footsteps have stopped in the center of this mound.
Do the steps kind of like end right before it, or is like does it look like one of the feet are like like one of the steps are cut off from the stone?
It's almost like they just vanish. Like there's footprints, and then they just kind of disappear. As you approach each stone, Shannon, each one is magical. So your tether sense would pick up. Each one is slightly magical.
Stag. It's written with vines. Do you know what it says? Do you have any ideas of what it could mean?
Struggling to find out what it means, but I can read it. Yes. Then at that, she will read off each thing.
I think I can do this if chat wants to check into it too. Does this work? Yeah, kinda.
So before we start figuring this out, I just want to ask the party, for all of the stones, do we have all of those items? Like, are we able to actually do all of those things?
I can't imagine we'd have vicious mockery, but
I do
the
not
others
have
sounds like we
mockery.
could possibly have them.
I don't have a warrior.
Unless you have all of the spells.
And the footprints is coming from or leading to where Till is, which would essentially be the Rook Shadow clan.
Which is Vicious Mockery, which we don't have.
Yeah. I only have Eldritch Blast, so.
Would Till be able to get a closer inspection of the Rook's Shadow stone?
Yeah, you can see that it's painted on. You can see a Rook Shadow member, and he's you can definitely make it that he's casting the Vicious Mockery spell. And then there is an indent in the center where you can place your hand.
Indent for a human hand, or would my hand suffice? Because I don't.
Yeah, your hand
I
would.
like to imagine Golganthi have less fingers.
Yeah, your hand would fit in there fine.
Okay. Till will just like sit and she'll stand in thought for a moment, and then she'll put her lower right hand inside the indent.
Stone like explodes with life and starts to glow purple.
I'm not quite sure what I've done, but I think we're on the right track.
Are you sure?
It wasn't glowing a moment ago, and I have not seen many stones that glow in my lifetime.
PR Scorpio, thanks for the follow.
Does Eldritch Blast do force damage?
It does. So I will go touch number 2.
John, as you put your hand into the ivory tusk number 2, the ivory tusk stone also glows with purple. And as you and Till both press your hands at the same time, you have unlocked this puzzle. It was so the way it worked is was force and psychic. Those were the 2 damage types that you had to push your hands into to make this door open. You also might want to make a note of which clans that you touch to make the door open.
Oh, Sean is definitely putting that in his notes.
So sorry,
I
we
also
finished
put that in my notes.
we finished the first fourth of the riddle, sorry, or the
Oh, you did it. That's all done. So
Oh.
it was only through force,
Chance.
and then Friends of Cunning Minds was the 2 triggers for the damage types. But with a loud crash, the earth is going to give way here. This is going to happen almost like simultaneously. And then let me click on the other one here. Correct.
We're riddle gods. We got that just like
But here's
I
where-
mean, I was just gonna start pressing all the spells.
You know, Torgrim, it wasn't purely by accident. I figured vicious mockery ties to the cunning part. So,
I mean,
but yes, I didn't think it would work that fast.
I didn't think it would work that fast.
Well, that's certainly
Friend.
With
Friend?
a loud crash, the earth gives way as a winding staircase of oak reveals itself and descends into darkness. Suddenly, heavy footfalls echo up the stairs as a large 10-foot hulking fusion of a humanoid with dragon's flesh emerges. It wears nothing but cloth and holds a great club in its left arm. Or holds a great club. Its left arm, its eyes, its teeth, and its feet look like a draconic, and it roars in your direction. As it roars, you can see its fangs drip a corrosive acid into the dirt, and it's going to immediately attack you. We're on initiative.
We were not ready.
Uh-oh.
It was.
Till's up first. This is the creature from Fizbane. Shout out to the new Fizbane.
Dragon stuff is dope. Yeah, seeing this creature, Till's gonna back on up. As she backs up, she's going to speak to the creature. She probably can right away tell that through the one arm that it's like draconic in nature. And in Dragon Coil, she's just gonna say, "We're not here to fight you. We're just here for those darned children." And then she's gonna ready her action. If it walks towards anyone in the party with like aggressive intentions, she's gonna shoot it.
Okay. Prophet gave it 600 biddies. Everyone has advantage again. Let's go. The dragon.
I'm gonna just use it for in the pursuit of academics, Prophet.
The dragon flesh
Thank you for
crafter
the
immediately
credit.
charges if you want to shoot it.
Yeah, I'll shoot it then. I'm gonna use my advantage. I'm not shitting around. I'm just here for a child that I don't want.
The 27 hits and it sticks into the side of the cheek, and that goes out almost the back of the cheek. You can see it stick out the back of his neck. And as the dragon flesh grafter takes 23 piercing damage.
That was max damage too.
You know,
That's why I'm like, I
rather
can't say
stay in
no to
that
his advantage. That max damage was.
Going to immediately hurl at Torgrim, Gustradh, and Silent Stag. All of you have to make
Oh no!
dexterity saving throws. Full damage on a fail, half damage on success.
I'm glad I moved.
Gustradh takes 10 acid damage.
Did mine not go off? I clicked it. What?
Yeah, it
I
doesn't.
think I tried to attribute my damage. I'm gonna try a refresh.
Nope.
Oh, there it is.
There we go.
Torgrim with a 12 or Torgrim with a 7.
Yeah, sorry. The first one was probably.
There you go. 10 acid damage to Torgrim and 10 to Silent Stag. So all three take 10 acid damage.
I would like to half that. Using advantage.
Okay. Have to 5. So he just rushes up, he roars as he takes the arrow to the cheek, and he turns and he just hurls acid like a dragon would, covering the three of you. Although Silent Stag's able to roll out of the way and not take too much damage. And that is its turn. Gustradh.
Gustradh will have his claymore in hand. And if I was a Mimi character, I would say friend before striking, but I am not. So, I'm super serial, guys. Go
Serial
ahead.
child killer.
Very nice. A 15 hits for 4 slash.
Awesome. Yeah, that will be the end of my turn.
You get a nice cut in. As you get a cut, you hit some of the fleshy part, not the skin. You can see you leave a pretty deep wound. Silent Stag.
Stag will immediately back up. Just going around the rock there. We'll just stay there. Just getting out of range of the acid that had attacked her, and will pull back her bow and cast. We'll pull back her bow, and from the bow is like, it appears to be an arrow made of dark magic as she casts Toll the Dead.
Oh, wisdom save. That's a fail. Dong.
Yeah, that should also be the D12, so let me just do that.
3 necrotic damage. Got it.
Okay.
The bell tolls and he shouts out in pain. He glares at you.
Ruh-roh. Alright. I will just wait there.
Okay. Let's do Shannon.
Is Torgrim wielding like a great axe?
No, he's wielding his great sword.
So, but it's a two-handed weapon.
Correct. Yep.
Then I will opt to use. So Shannon will extend his hand and form a ball of radiant energy, and he will throw it. I will cast Guiding Bolt.
Ooh. You have advantage.
I'm gonna use advantage. Warlock spell slots, man.
Boom! 24 hits for 13 radiant damage. With that 13 radiant damage, as it smashes into the chest of this creature, he turns bloody, and it looks pretty wounded as you illuminate him. For your next attack to be at advantage.
All right, finish
Torgrim.
the job, Torgrim.
That's what I'm gonna try to do. Okay, Torgrim's gonna move over here on this side of him, so he doesn't splash more than one of us with acid breath if he survives this, and I'm gonna attack.
Oh no.
A 17 hits, and Torgrim with the 10 damage. How do you want to kill it?
I kind of just chop off his weird, scaly-looking arm.
With a clean cut, you slice through this strange fused creature, this humanoid / draconic creature, and as you come down on it, it roars out in pain and it falls into the mound. As it falls, it's so heavy that it makes the ground shake for just a second. But you stand safe. And that's combat.
Well, I think with that, there's only 39 more to go. Shouldn't be too hard.
39? Where'd you get that number from?
Our Steg's troll friend.
I don't think it was capable of counting till.
Well, it told us to stop when we just passed it, so perhaps it could. But either way, this didn't seem like it was too bad.
Speak for yourself. I got its goop all over me.
Can I take a minute to like investigate the body just to see if it was something maybe natural or like something like this, either magical or like somebody like carved this creature to look like this?
Make a con check. Or medicine. The 17. This is nothing that you've seen before. It's definitely not natural. This is some sort of weird magical mutation.
I will take notes.
Like this humanoid, this creature wanted to be more dragon-like.
Till's gonna pull out her Quantrell and gonna walk over and cut off the pointing finger of the draconic claw that Torgrim separated from the body.
Just the finger? Just the pointing finger?
Yeah, just one of them, like from like the middle knuckle.
Easy, clean slice. It's about 8 inches long. And the dagger onto that also extends for another 4 inches. And as you cut it, you can see a little bit of the acid kind of spill out, and then almost like cauterize the wound itself. But yeah, it's easy to lop off a finger.
Cool. And she'll put it in one of her pouches along her belt.
Looking down the staircase goes down far enough for those with dark vision to not be able to see the bottom, and it is pure darkness, pitch black.
Shannon, do you think you could throw one of your glowing rocks down there?
I will grab a rock and cast light.
You throw a light on the rock, drop the rock into the down into the pit. As it falls down, it drops about 80 feet and then hits the bottom, and it illuminates this spiral wooden staircase that's pretty well made, that goes all the way down and then ends at a longer cavern that extends into this underground dungeon.
Sorry, so is it a drop down and then the staircase, or is there a stone staircase that then leads to the next set of staircases?
It's a staircase that just winds all the way down 100 feet, slowly goes down, or 80 feet, goes all the way down and hits. You'll be able to walk down it. You'll kind of go in a circle as you do. It'll just be dark for Gustradh when you get to the bottom. Or you guys would all rely on your pure dark vision, which would give you a disadvantage on perception. You still be able to see.
Well, Till has no problem seeing in the dark, so she'll kind of like gesture, like a head nod to Stag and then Shannon, and then she'll start heading down.
Gustradh will look at Shannon and say, "Do you think you could cast it on this?" And he holds out his claymore.
Yeah, I can definitely do that. Cast light on his claymore.
Okay. Your claymore glows bright.
Gustradh just goes around acting like he's a Jedi Knight.
Well, I'm assuming your claymore is not longer than 10 feet. Doth Gustradh.
Sith Lord.
Can I make the light red?
Red. Well, it's gotta be purple. I'm Mace.
It does radiant damage now. So the five of you descend the stairs as you make your way down. The chamber in front of you, as you slowly make your way in, Gustradh's light helps reveal this, as the chamber is made of worn stone, but it's so cold here in the Northlands, the stone is also covered in ice. You see bits of ice and frost on the snow, on the ceiling, on the walls. The ceiling's about 12 feet high, so it is comfortable for all of you to walk without having to duck. The ground is mainly frozen dirt with small cracks of ice that causes this burrow to kind of quietly creak and groan. Not enough to make you have to worry about stealth, but enough to be cool. Besides the fading light around you and from his claymore, that you are surrounded in darkness, there are multiple exits to travel here from whatever direction you want to go. Level 2 dungeon crawl. Let's go.
Not terrifying at all.
It'll be fine.
So Gustradh, as you step out, you get a little bit better lay of the land. There is a direction to the north, to the east, and you can see to the south. And this looks like it kind of wraps around a bit. This is also, as you get a better look at it, a lot of the walls here are just filled with debris. A lot of stone is crumbled, a lot of thrown wooden planks. The upstairs was very well kept. It was cut grass and beautiful vegetation and stone. Down here, it is a completely discarded pit.
So I have to ask the question, would this terrain be stony in nature? Even though
That's the gargoyle question.
The gargoyle question.
All right, I did it. Okay.
Bruce, would this be considered, would there be any plants or vegetation down here?
Fuck you guys.
I want to know about my stealth checks.
You know, if I see a house plant around the corner, will I get an advantage on stealth?
Yeah, there's a non-live IKEA house plant just sitting there in the middle of the floor.
Weird.
Or no.
Those things can stand the test of time for sure.
Yeah.
So do we want to split the party up? Two in each direction, one guy by himself?
Oh, God.
Definitely not. We are not We are not the Scooby Gang.
I mean, we're after a possessed child. How much closer to being a Scooby-Doo gang member can you be?
I suppose.
Well, we
Let's
don't.
see.
We don't have a vehicle yet, so
Pippin dropping 900 biddies, giving inspiration to the rest of the group that just used it to murder and crit the shit out of my
Let's go.
mini boss. Thanks, Pippin.
You know
I
what?
appreciate it, man.
Doing 23 damage on a first attack is not that bad.
Everybody just giving advantage to each other. Yeah.
My poor mutated dragon person.
you know the level 2. The level 2 with 23 damage.
Pretty good.
It's pretty good.
Appreciate it, dude.
Well, I'm not much one for dungeons, so perhaps one of you should lead the way.
Very well.
Shannon and Till will go to the attic, and Silent Stag, Gustradh, and Torgrim will go check out the basement.
Your strategy take. You step out a little bit, you can see that it goes south and then it also curves around.
I'm feeling this way, guys.
I know you didn't say we didn't need to do it necessarily, but Till would like to stealth.
Give me a stealth check. If anyone else wants to be stealthy, also give me a roll. 16's
Sure.
pretty good. 10's good. 5's Gustradh with also 5 because you're in heavy armor, right? Or you're in
Buddy.
or with 8. All right, so you guys do not feel stealthy as you slowly start to clank and clamber your way through this dungeon.
If Till wants to stay a few feet at the back.
I might just take a different path. I'm super stealthy.
Bro.
Yeah, Till will stay like 5-10 feet back from the rest of the group.
I like taking curved.
So Gustradh, when you step, wait back a little bit. When you step here, you would hear coming from your west a faint sound. Hope that played for everyone.
Yeah, that
did.
Yep.
That didn't.
Yep.
That didn't sound cool at all.
Good from this direction.
No. Not cool at all. Do you want to go in front of me, Torgrim?
Sure.
The wall
You'll say
block.
hesitantly.
Is the wall blocking you? I
Uh,
can move it a bit if it's getting in your way.
no. You're good. I was no. Well, I like going around corners that are round. I don't know.
Very interesting character decision. I only go around curved walls.
He's
Gustradh.
imagining things.
What is this?
it would-
Scrolls online. Curved sword. They have curved sword.
Does this corner look like it connects down to the other one?
Yeah.
When you hit here, Gustradh, you would hear a low grumble, much deeper than before.
I think Gustradh's leading us on the wrong tunnel. We should start going down straight lines.
Have you guys
Fight a dragon.
ever been to a Minotaur city?
A lot of cow shit.
Thank
You
you,
can make
guys
like
in the
a
sky.
labyrinth pun.
There's a scary thing, sounds like, down here. Let's go investigate it.
I
We're gonna
don't
die
like
tonight.
this decision, but
Can Till do like a perception check to see if she can hear the sounds from anyone like somewhere else in the dungeon by chance?
From the direction of the path you went, you would only hear from the two. You still hear the same ones he did, but you'd only hear from the two.
Okay, so it's just that. Okay.
Yeah, just those two are the danger. Gustradh, from as you get to here, I'm pausing here because they don't see you here yet, but you will be able to see what's out there.
Mm-hmm.
You see a couple things here. One is there are the sarcophagi to your left that you can make out. The sarcophagus is made of stone, and there are these 4 illuminated braziers around it. You can also see what looks to be like a risen, Salian, like an undead Salian. As it turns. It's looking away from you, so it's looking to the north. And as it looks ahead, you can see that it has a battle axe in its hand. It's standing in a way that makes it seem... You've been around zombies in your time. You've been around skeletons. This one is standing as if it has some form of intelligence, which makes you immediately stop and pause and kind of look at it. This is not a dumb zombie, but you're able to pick up right away. And you can also see there is a strange bluish glow, this blue glow light, which is being sucked away from the zombie. Like the blue light is going to the north, not outward.
Gustradh will identify the undead creatures and just say, Iana, be with us. And kind of under his breath, and then look to the rest of the group and say, steady yourselves, and continue walking forward.
You step in a little more, you can see a little bit more of a sight. Now you can see there's another sarcophagi on the right side with the same lit brazier. You can see another one of these risen salient. You can also see Casa. Casa is unconscious and restrained. She's bound. You get a better picture of this blue light, which is being sucked in away from you. You see this enormous skeletal creature. A little bit difficult to make out from where you are, but you think it looks like a dragon skeleton. Unfortunately, if you move any closer, they will know you're there because you are not very stealthy.
Perfect. Anyone want to say or do anything before I jump in?
Why have we stopped moving?
Exactly. And he'll move in.
Tillman, that she can't see much, but yeah.
All right. So they're going to see you here. I'm going to have your own initiative.
It was more of a I can't see anything. We finally rolled good initiative.
I did not.
It's a miracle.
Mostly.
I don't know
so
what we're
did
fighting.
Runa and Casa. We're going for kids.
You went right to
Still's there.
you went right to the boss chamber. All right, so I'm gonna read off what you say because it'll be in the middle of combat, so it'll make sense. But only Gustradh really would see the full effects of all this until you guys just move in a little bit deeper. There's an enormous dragon skeleton crammed into this northern alcove. The skeleton is weathered and looks like it's been recently dug up, with hardened dirt and ice hanging from its bones. Its mouth is open, and lying in its jaws is the unconscious Runa. To Runa's right is Casa. Casa is tied in the corner and is also unconscious but bound. Before them are these two undead risen sailing, holding battle axes, and they watch over the scene. Well, they were watching the scene until Gustradh walked in, and then they immediately turned and drew their weapons. Next to Runa, you can see Syl. Syl is conversing in a very breathy whisper in a strange language that Gustradh does not understand. Mimicking Syl's breathing pattern, the dragon skeleton seems to draw in the life essence in this chamber, mainly from the unconscious Runa. Every so often, the eyes of this dragon that you see, Gustradh, will flare bright blue and then dissipate. Noticing your presence, Syl also hears you. She raises the dagger above the child. She belongs to us. Rin Fang will rise. Shannon, you hear that, and you go first.
I will walk in. Move where I can see Syl. I will cast Hex. And I will choose. Let's go Dex.
Okay.
And then blast her.
9 misses.
And hop back.
So you jump out, Hex Syl. Syl holds the dagger and kind of looks over her shoulder at you, and then you Eldritch Blast, and she ducks and hits the skeleton behind her. Torgrim's up.
Torgrim's gonna move. That's 10, 20. Okay, Soul's all the way over there. So he can move here. So he's beside this Celian. Just out of curiosity, would Torgrim recognize the type of magic that is being used to rise these undead?
Make an Arcana check. So I can tell you with a 14, this is not necromancy.
It's not necromancy. I will attack this guy beside me.
Let's do it. Big old swing. Oh, 18 hits. For 8 slash.
And that's my turn.
He's going to try to return the favor with a battle axe swing of himself. Yaw! Ooh.
Yeah, that hits.
21 for 6. He slices down at you. As he slices down, you get a better look at his face. He is... You can see the intelligence in his eyes. Gustradh.
Gustradh will go up next to Torgrim. Target this undead. Go ahead with a claymore. Does the...
A 12 just misses.
So I'll burn the advantage for the 15 then.
Okay.
And I'll add a divine smite. And add an additional...
You're good. The 5 is just enough. You don't have to worry about the roll. 'Cause you had a 1 on it, I think.
Oh, okay. Oh, it's dead. Okay.
Yeah. So as you come down with your claymore, this loud boom goes off as you see Gustradh slam into this creature and slice down. And as it does, it explodes. The creature falls in front of you.
All right, and he has an additional 5 feet of movement, which he'll kind of go here. And his turn.
Seeing you do that, this Celian Risen is going to run over here to Gustradh. It's going to make a battle axe swing at you.
That will not hit.
Silent Stag.
All right. Out of the tunnel here. I don't see my friends at the moment, but I do see a good old hag. You know what hags get? They get hunter's marked. And Stag will just focus. Oh, jeez. Stag will just focus on the witch, the hag, whatever she is, and there will just be brambles that kind of grow out of nowhere, seemingly up her legs, and she will try to fire an arrow.
The 6 misses.
She will take the advantage.
The 20 hits for 11.
And then plus the hunter's mark. Oh.
That's a lot of damage.
Gotcha. God damn, level 266, dude. What the fuck?
Easy clap.
Oops, Pathfinder.
Extra 3, got it. Your arrow slices into her back, and it makes her pull back from stabbing Runa with a dagger. She was going to stab her if you didn't hit her.
Yep. You're not stabbing the child on my watch. We get to do that.
That's my job.
Yeah, she'll just... No, she'll stay there. She won't move. There it is. There we go.
Still gonna whip
We're not
around.
stabbing the child, chat. The elf won't let that happen.
She can see Silent Stag, Torgrim, and Gustradh. She's going to make a necrotic ray attack at all 3 of you. This is a stag.
Ah, the advantages of being in another room.
Oh!
All right,
Bling!
that's fine.
This
This
is
is
a Torgrim.
fine.
That does not.
This is a Gustradh.
Does not hit.
So we got Silent Stag taking 9 necrotic and con save for the 100. Got it, nice.
It's fine. I'm gonna start stepping out of the way now.
Hey, you saved the child.
Goes to Till.
I did.
All right, Till is gonna move. Doesn't get a lot of vision here, so she's gonna move a little bit forward. And she can see Syl, yeah. So she's gonna draw her bow, and she's gonna take a longbow shot at that bugger.
One hits.
Do you want to use advantage?
Oh, okay. And then as she's aiming the bow, you can kind of like Stag can just see Till like very quickly just like jerk it a little bit to the side to make sure that she's aiming true, and she's gonna use her faux feature.
You got it.
So she can do an extra 4 damage.
Ooh, nice. Max roll.
Nice.
And that'll be her.
All around goes to Shannon.
All right. Actually, that is, I believe, a bonus action. All right, so bonus action, healing light onto Torgrim.
Ooh, thank you.
Torgrim heals for 6.
And then I will target Syl. Eldritch Blast.
Blast. A 16 hits for 6 force. And Syl is bloody as you slam into her with your force damage. Extra 2, nice. She's looking rough.
We'll go back.
Torgrim.
Torgrim's gonna run up to Syl, and he's gonna smack her with his big old sword.
Ooh. So 2 things are going to happen here. One is, Torgrim, you have slain Syl as you come down with your greatsword. How would you like to chop her?
With her being, I'm gonna chop off the hand that she that she cast a spell with. That hurt. Silent Stag.
Okay. So as you come down with Syl, a hand falls and she screams in pain. As she does, her flesh immediately begins to shrivel away and it explodes. My thing didn't pop up. Let me try this. Boom! There we go. We're gonna make a dex save. Easy pass. And Syl is slain. And then you're able to jump out of the way as you see her start to explode. You dodge the attack.
Does Runa dodge the attack?
Yeah. Question.
Runa's safe. She's still being absorbed.
Hmm.
That's not a fun word.
That's a loaded answer.
I'm gonna step there and end my turn.
He is dead. Gustradh.
Gustradh will go ahead and make another attack action with his claymore. 9 damage. And he'll use his last spell slot to Divine Smite.
Let's go. Ooh, 9.
And then additional 1d8 for being undead, right?
He is not undead.
He is not undead. Okay.
Good to know.
Taking that punishment, he's going to attempt to hit you with the battle axe. Gustradh. Not 1 damage.
Oh, that'll hit.
Let's go.
'Tis but a flesh wound.
Silent Stag.
Stag will. She'll run over and kind of kick Syl's body out of the way and try to see. She's like, they've got it handled. They seem fine. And just try to see if she can somehow take Runa out of the mouth of the dragon.
Yeah, you can grab her and pull her out. She's not bound by anything. She's just laying there.
Okay, then
So-
I will.
You reach your hands into the mouth. It's almost like it's fighting you. You have to like really push yourself, even though nothing is restraining you from doing so. You push hard, and you're able to. You grab onto Runa. As you grab her eyes open, and she looks at you. Eyes open wide, and they're just pitch black.
Kill the child.
But you can pull her out if you want to pull her out.
Hmm?
You want to pull her out of the mouth?
Do I still have my action?
This is your action to grapple pull.
Okay.
She's not
Yeah, I'll
resisting
pull
you.
her out.
Okay.
I'll pull her out. Yep.
Where'd she go?
This can only go well.
She's like flew
She's
away
gone.
from me.
Don't tease us.
You pull her out of the mouth. As you do, the skeletal creature here stops absorbing the essence in the room that was glowing blue. It is extinguished, and the eyes that were flashing ever so often is now gone. As you pull her out, though, her eyes that were black, now they close, and she's now back to being unconscious.
Right. Glad I did that.
But still there.
So I shouldn't
throws
shoot Runa, is what I'm hearing on my turn.
I am between Runa and you.
She's a
and
good
I will
shot.
stop you.
I'm a very good shot.
Better shot than I am.
Oop, didn't mean to do that. Goes to Till.
Yeah, I'm gonna move on up and I'm gonna shoot the Risen.
$19 hits for 4. It's looking real rough, looking real bad, but it's barely alive.
Yeah, and that's me.
Where you go, Sean, and behind you, you can hear the shuffling footsteps of the other Risen that were in this chamber starting now to make their way towards you.
Oh no.
We didn't clear the dungeon before
We
the
did
boss
not.
fight. All right.
Rainbow
Whoopsies.
curved walls.
Like in WoW when you go pull dead mines and they all just come running at the end.
All right. Well, hearing that, I'm gonna come back up here. The rest are coming, and I will bonus action move the hex to the Risen Salian next to Gustradh. I believe I can do that with hex.
Yep.
Eldritch Blast.
14 hits and 4 damage is enough. Drops it. Borgrim.
Was I able to hear them coming as well, or just Shun?
You have a... Yeah, you can hear. You're 13.
Okay. In that case, Torgrim will move down here to prepare for them coming, and he'll hold his action if any of them come in range.
Okay. Gustradh. You have a 11. You would not hear them, but you see Torgrim run up and ready himself.
Gustradh will come down here and we'll open like okay, go right here without instead of moving 30 here, move 30 here.
You can get there if you want to. Yeah, you can. You're good.
Okay. Anyway, he'll use his action to use lay on hands on himself. And I'll go ahead and use 7 HP of it.
Good heal.
Might have to... I'll just go ahead and end my turn. Need to refresh.
This is a dash. Silent Stag.
Dag, seeing the new friends, quote unquote, is going to cast Bless on Let's say Gustradh, Torgrim, and Till.
All right.
And that would
No,
break
thank you.
the concentration on Hunter's Mark, unfortunately. That I didn't quite think of beforehand, but that's all right.
Yeah, bless is good.
It's better blessed to have other people hit than just me. And then that was an action. I'm just gonna put myself between. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll put myself in front of Runa at the moment.
Okay.
Then I'll end my turn. There you are.
She's unconscious, but you
Yep.
you kind of shield her away from it.
Bonus action, kick Syl again.
That's a dash there to get to you in front of Torgrim.
Torgrim will use his held action to attack him.
Okay. Oh, is this a crit?
And he'll use his
Yeah, might as well.
crit.
17 just cleaves this dude in two as he's come across and just whoosh, slice him with the Barry Bonds baseball swing and he's gone.
Bye, Felicia.
Till?
Yeah. Just gonna jump up on top of this sarcophagus, hoping to get a better view. And she's gonna shoot the risen down the hall.
Going down here?
Yeah.
Alright. 23 hits. 4 pierce.
I actually rolled a 27. Okay. Yeah, for the 4 damage.
Nice.
That'll be my turn.
Good damage. This is a dash. To there. Round. Goes to Shannon.
Alright. I'm gonna Healing Light Silent Stag.
Yay. Oh,
Oh, damn. Was that 3?
it's fine.
It's just one.
It's just one. It's fine.
Yeah. I get a lot of dice later, but Torgrim will cleave that guy in too, so we will go here. And I already used my bonus action, so I will just Eldritch Blast that boy.
Please stand
17
back.
hits. 4 damage. Torgrim.
Torgrim is gonna attempt to move over here. Not seeing anybody there, but hearing commotion over here, he's gonna move here, and can't quite make it there. So he'll
Damn, these stubby legs.
I know, right? He'll hold his action in case they come closer for some reason.
Okay. Gustradh.
Gustradh will come over here. I am sorry, Shannon. You will be hit by this. Shattering Stomp. Earth Tremor. I might have to get that spell.
Gotcha. Earth Tremor. There you go. Dropped it on your sheet for you.
Okay.
Boom!
So that would be the 2 Risen and Shannon.
Both fail.
Alright, so they're knocked prone.
Wrong one. Oh. And prone.
Would Sean get hit by that? It says only 5 foot diameter.
It's only 5 foot? I thought it was 10 feet.
That'll be right. Yep, you're good.
Oh, 5. Yeah. Yeah, then all right, perfect.
Well, it says a 5 foot diameter for each.
Would have been like,
To
like
fix
this.
the terrain.
It's basically saying that's for the rough terrain, so each square is basically what it's saying. Is this spell normally?
Yeah, it says 5 feet down at the bottom. I mean 10 feet.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
got him right.
Oh, you're right.
Yeah.
It'd be
Becomes difficult terrain until cleared, with each 5 foot diameter portion requiring at least 1 minute to clear by hand.
Yeah, Foundry just seems to have the spell weirdly set up and doesn't give you a template.
Okay, then yeah, Shannon would need a deck save.
You slam your hoof into the ground, and the shockwave goes out from under you, dropping both the zombies. They fall prone, take some good damage.
What? And then that will end my turn.
And then Shauna, give me a deck save. Do you have your rest? How did we lose Raz? Is he there?
Hmm?
Oh, give me a deck save.
Yeah.
Shannon slammed on the ground with his shockwave.
Gustradh did.
Or Gustradh.
Yeah.
Oh, so you take 6 bludgeoning and knocked prone. The shockwave.
Wait, no, I have advantage. I'll use my advantage. I need those hit points.
and maintain concentration.
You only have so many of them.
This is a battle axe swing coming at Gustradh.
That'll miss.
Silent stag.
Well, seeing as you knocked him prone, and
Okay.
I would have disadvantage to hit that, I'm going to shoot the one that is now standing up. So,
Yeah, I'm realizing the turn order didn't really give it any benefit for knocking prone, but
it's alright.
Did 12 damage.
Yeah, because I passed.
yeah. Well,
Do I want to do a spell? Nah. Let's shoot this.
Oof. That
let's
thing is
go.
gone. With the nice crit.
Bullied it.
The arrow goes through the forehead of this risen sailing, and it just falls backwards. It just falls.
I hit something.
Anything else you want to do? You want to move? Or you want a bonus action? Anything?
No, sorry.
Okay.
Forgot about that.
Till.
I'm still.
I have a question about my multiple limbs. Would I be able to, because I believe it's a bonus action to draw the sword out, right?
Yep.
Would I be able to use my multiple limbs to attach the shield, my shields, to my other hand instead of using an action?
Shield's too heavy.
You're right. It's 1 pound too heavy. I didn't realize that.
I think you're trying to hold
Yeah.
it like in your small hands.
Well, no, to strap it to my main arm, but basically use my smaller arms to negate having to use an action to don the shield, if that's possible. Because the multiple limbs feature is not super descriptive of what it can and can't do, so I'm just curious if that's possible. Like, use the small limbs as a free action to attach the shield to my one arm, instead of using an action to do it.
I'm checking away the shield. It's under 5 pounds.
It's 6 pounds, but would I be able to use both hands to hold it?
Just a little too heavy for you.
Okay.
Those little arms.
That's all good. Then I will just equip the Quantrell, and then my second set of hands will hold onto the longbow for me. Seeing as I can no longer shoot the person who's knocked out. Till is going to move on up, and she's going to stab at the gut of this risen.
Nice. 16 hits. And he He is
that'll be
looking
me.
rough. He's bloody.
Actually, you know what? And I'll use my favorite foe card as well. I'll cast my second on that.
If you get Max, you can kill it. Ah,
Worth a shot.
he's gonna stand up, looking real rough. Last person hit was Till, so he's gonna swing at Till with a hand axe or battle axe.
That does not hit.
Swing and a miss. Pop it around, Shannon.
Bonus action to move Hex over to him.
Okay.
Eldritch Blast.
Eldritch Blast flies over Gustrad's shoulder and smashes into this risen saline, knocking the head off the creature. The head just kind of snaps back from the spine and just falls into the ground. And that is combat. Leaving the 5 of you in the strange chamber with 2 unconscious Jarl daughters. But safe. For now.
Gustradh would like to immediately inspect the raised salines to figure out why his smites didn't go off the way he thought.
You start to like look through these 2 risen salines. They have battle axes you can take if you want to. As you start to get through them more, you can see that even though they are like they were starting to decay, and that you're starting to look under their armor, their body from the waist down along the chest, going down the thighs, are scales, sort of like the creature that you fought above ground.
Well, I will go ahead and take up one of those battle axes and add it to my inventory for my one-handed
Okay.
martial.
Drop it on
It's
there for you.
almost. You almost said it like I might have wanted that.
Did anyone else aside from Stag see the black eyes of Runa?
I think she was the only one close to her when she did it.
Okay.
I'll go ahead and use the rest of my lay on hands on Stag, and that'll be 3 hit points.
Wow, you almost doubled it.
Boom.
Go.
Can I check Syl for like the tablet and any like documents, anything that she would have on her?
So you start to rummage through the now dead witch. There's a couple things you find on her. One is there's a mirror. The mirror is carved from bone, has glass set inside of it. Your tether sense doesn't go off, but it looks interesting. And that is this right here. There's also a necklace. The necklace is made from small animal bones, has chipped oak and dragon's teeth running through the yarn. Despite its age, though, the delicate bones and oak that make this necklace look to be in really good repair. But from your tether sense too, you can't really pick up if it's magical. It doesn't seem magical, but it looks valuable. Then you also pull out a piece of parchment, but it is a scroll.
Okay. I will grab all of those.
I
I will
will ask for the
open-
talisman if that's okay.
Yeah, I'll hand you the talisman. I will inspect the scroll.
Okay. Is that the necklace or the mirror? Or do you want both?
The necklace with the dragon stuff to it.
You got it. Inspecting the scroll, it is a scroll of bless.
I will tuck that away. And when I hand the necklace over to Till, I'll just say, I would like to inspect that later. That would be okay.
That shouldn't be a problem.
Scrolls in Shannon's inventory now.
Can I check on like Runa, like her vital signs and stuff, just to see that she's actually alive?
She's
and
alive.
breathing.
She's still unconscious. It's almost she feels like she's under the same effect that you all were, but you can tell that she's alive. If you did want to wake her up, you could shake her for a while, and then she would eventually get up. But she, besides the strange unconsciousness, her skin looks in good condition. She doesn't seem to like have lost any life essence or anything like that. She seems healthy.
To Syl, can I see if... I don't know if Gustradh had mentioned the scales, but to see if Syl has the same...
That's true. So you would see it, and then Sean, you would saw it too. Syl also has scales that run across her body, across her back, along her spine, and down her legs.
Can I just check Runa over for those quickly?
Seeing
I would make a note of that.
Seeing Syl with those scales, you look for Runa for the same. No, she looks like a normal, healthy child.
All right. I'll just kind of gather her in my arms and try to stand up, carrying her.
Is there any sort of markings or notation for either of these caskets or crypts?
Well, in those two sarcophagi, besides the light and them being made purely of stone with a stone top, nothing, there's no markings on them.
And did we find the dagger that Syl was using?
She does have a dagger. It's a plain dagger, if you want to take that too.
No, so no specific markings, nothing ritual about it besides trying to kill Runa is what I was just trying to figure out.
Yeah, just a plain dagger.
Would I have come across any type of ritual like this in my journey or heard of?
This is different. This is weird. When you ran in here too, you're so sure of yourself, being a matron or raven follower, that this was some sort of undead. And now seeing this and seeing your smite not react like you thought it would, it's definitely thrown you off. Definitely something new, something different.
Let's try it. Divine sense. What do I feel in this room besides Runa?
So Runa is the fiend. You picked it up pretty immediately.
And that hasn't changed. Like no stronger or lesser feeling, just a fiend.
That's the same.
Okay.
The dragon bones now currently feel nothing. They don't feel any sort of celestial fiend or undead.
Okay. Well, for the divine sense, I would have taken out the stone carving, the raven, and then pocketed it after. Well, it seems like the girl is still plagued by being a fiend, some sort of demon inside her. There was the bandit that the guardsman did warn us about that sounded like he had joined Syl.
I would imagine he's here somewhere.
Well, I feel that there is much danger here, but we have found what we're looking for. I strongly suggest we head back.
I will unbind Casa and check to make sure that she's still breathing.
Still breathing, still healthy. She's just, as you unbind her, she's still unconscious. Sort of the similar to that as Runa. That whatever that was that has knocked her out is just still lingering on her. Still knocked her out.
And then I will go investigate the dragon.
Well, after I'd finished with Runa, I would like to cast Detect Dragons as ritually.
Okay. So I'm gonna make this extend a little bit because I think it'll be helpful.
Okay.
To your southeast, about 150 feet, there are two. It is it's weird because it doesn't give you a type, and it's not a strong connection. You don't pick up a full dragon, but you get a little blip, there's some sort of draconic down there, but it's not a full young or adult dragon or anything like that.
Well then.
Yeah, while she's detecting that, Till's kind of started ignoring the children. And she's kind of just looking at the dragon and is touching its muzzle and all that. Are there any scales or anything like that in the room?
No scales, but there are bones.
Would Till be able to figure out how old the bones possibly could be?
Make a nature check or a survival check. The bones in this room, the skeletal creature before you.
I have bless. Don't know if that changes it, but
Yeah, she cast Detect Dragons, which took it away.
Yeah, no, I don't
that's
have.
very true.
You don't have bless anymore.
But it would be the same with 11 and 14. This is definitely a very old draconic. It's hard to place it exactly, but it looks. You get the sense that it's been buried for a really long time. It's been recently dug up. But it's been at least a century, maybe two, that this thing has been gone.
that's quite sad.
Could we make stew with the bones?
That will not be happening if you say that out loud.
Yeah, let's possibly get some cursed bones and make some stew from it, and I'll eat it.
These bones don't seem cursed, but beasts like these, as mighty as they are, they're not used for food. That will not be happening.
Fair enough. I was just putting it out there.
You put a lot of things out there. Maybe you should slow down with that. And she's going to continue to inspect the dragon's head.
Torgrim would agree with Gustradh, though, about now that we found the girls, we should head back.
Sean, didn't you ask about investigating the dragon, or?
Yeah.
You would pick that this dragon was probably in its time an adult dragon. It's hard to tell what color exactly, but it is chromatic.
Okay.
But apart from that, there's no more like lingering arcanic essence. Your tether sense doesn't pick up anything. You would know based from seeing what you saw and being where you are that they were trying to make this thing come back in some way. They're trying to bring it back in some fashion, and you preventing Runa from being sacrificed has prevented that. You're not sure like how they were doing it or what would come if this thing came back, but they were trying to bring this thing back in some form.
Using Till's previous experiences, would she be able to tell what form, what element this dragon was based on like its face shape? Is it one that she recognizes? Like from the bone structure? Or even the anatomy of the wings or anything like that?
Ah, crap, I just closed out. Whoops. Going back in. You would... You would know what it's not. It's not green or white. It might be red or blue or black, but it's definitely a little bit larger.
Okay. More than I knew a moment ago, so that's good.
Well, Silent Stag is casting that too while I'm inspecting it. I will use one of my daggers to try to remove some of the bones to study later.
Yeah, you can do that.
Do be respectful for the dead, please. I don't think there's much you can gain knowledge-wise of the bones of an old dragon.
On the contrary, my friend.
Will you be finishing that thought, or are you just being contrary to be contrary?
Knowledge can be obtained in many ways.
I imagine bones from a creature like this won't be much help, but if you do wish
They
to
can
take it,
provide
at
all
least
the
be
answers.
respectful.
But that
If I
is what
see it
research
drop
is
into a
for.
bowl for a stew, then there will be a problem.
Oh, there will be none of that.
And I'm sorry if we've already covered it, but basically this dragon has been dug up, right? Or has it been look like it's a natural resting area?
It's definitely been dug up, brought here.
Okay. All right.
And then after he's done with that, I will also take some of the scales.
No scales, only bone.
Well, off the humanoids.
Oh, the humanoid, yeah. Okay.
Yeah. It doesn't have to be pretty. It's all for just information gathering.
What was that Game of Thrones where what was his name has to get the scales removed in like season 7? I think is what it is.
Yeah, the grayscale.
Yeah, grayscale. Just like kind of like that.
Yeah, curing you of your ailments.
So you have two unconscious daughters, healthy, alive, and saved. And you guys don't look too worse for wear, and you found a couple things. You do know there's a couple other wings that you might want to check, or you might want to just get out of here and before anything else comes back.
Player in me wants the lore, but Gustradh.
Would Till be
No.
able to use your Quantrell to like dig into the sarcophagus and lift the lid up to see what's inside?
Yep. You stick your contra in there, you pop it up. There's like a plume of dust that pops up, and this one is empty.
Cool. Having been unexcited by that, she'll go over and open up the other one.
Can't you let the dead rest?
Go on the other side,
These ones are not of importance to me.
dig it in, pop it up too, pops up, also empty. Which is weird because I think you would know this with your character, but sarcophagi and tombs are usually something in there. These are both
Yeah,
there.
that's this will probably be her first tomb raid where there's nothing inside the sarcophagi. That's weird.
Once Stag finishes the ritual casting, she'll look up and say, there are more of them.
More of what?
Something draconic in essence. I can't quite place what they are, but they're not dragons.
They're
Something
similar
in-
to the other ones. We might as well take care of them now, lest they pursue.
Cleaning out them would be beneficial to the clan. They might appreciate our assistance.
I can agree with that as well.
Should we allow the daughters out of our sight or bring up them with us?
That does complicate this.
I can stay near them. If we bring them with us, and then if one of us hangs back,
Could we not just strap one to each of Torgrim's shoulders?
Program's not that strong, I don't think.
You don't know until you try it.
Gustradh is pretty strong and has quite a bit of carrying capacity, so he will pick up Casa.
Okay.
And head to the turned corner, the rounded corners.
I'll leave the tokens here unless they need something, but
Stag will try to pick up Runa and start trying to lead them towards.
she's much
Where
smaller,
she's
so it's easy enough for you to do that. It would
Fantastic.
be over here.
Torgrim couldn't lift her up, but Stag can.
I can't. Oh, I couldn't lift up both of them. Is what I was saying.
No, but you couldn't lift her on a horse either.
That's because he's a
Oh.
midget. That has nothing to do with his strength. He's just tiny.
Yeah, that's-
Copium.
We'll drop them off in
Like
this,
right- This area?
the stairwell.
Okay, I'll put them over there.
Woo! Jill, come back. Jill.
Can I do stealth?
Silent Stag, did you come and drop off your child?
Yes, I dropped off my child.
Okay.
You see Talaka crouch down and start to look around the corner here. And as you peek around the corner, it's quiet. There's no signs of threats. Though you do hear this weird, slight, almost like a bubbling sound, like a
Wait. Guys.
until as you move deeper into here now, you see two more sarcophagi. One to your east, one will be to your west, both in alcoves, similar to the north where you just were. However, the tops of these sarcophagi are made of glass, and you can see inside them. And as you get a little closer down, you can see that there are dead remains of a saline, one saline floating in each sarcophagi, and they float in this strange, dark, congealated like pool. Almost like a thick, jello-y like blood.
Are these aliens like, is their anatomy still like enough that they can like, you can tell that it's a human, or is it kind of like dissolved almost like a caterpillar in like a chrysalis?
It almost looks like there's two corpses floating in the pool. And you can see that they're starting to, where they had been decaying like a lot more than usual, that where the decayed bits were, now the scales are starting to form on the body.
Is these where I sensed the dragons?
You hit both of these guys, so both of these ping to your sense. And they're both unconscious. They're not fully created yet. They're just floating in this strange, dark, yellowish, like, bloodish thing from your vantage point.
I suggest I'll lift up the lid and you all stab it. Maybe kill it in one go. Do it to both.
If they haven't woken yet, is it really necessary to?
If we want to get the most out of our boon from the Jarl, I would say it would, yes. These are, after all, the ones that kidnapped his daughter. And if he asks you, did you deal with everyone who stole his daughter? And you say no, because they were sleeping, I don't think he would appreciate that.
Very well, let's try this at one at a time, but Torgrim, maybe I take one and you take the other, just in case they both rise at the same time.
Sure, that sounds good to me. Torgrim would walk up and he would put one of them on his shoulder.
Do you want to attack through the glass, or do you want to try to like lift the lid first?
Till will use her Quantrill to like slip it in like the other sarcophagus and flip it so Torgrim can just like
okay,
right on its neck or something.
Stag will do the same with the dagger.
Okay. So Stag and Till, you both put your weapons under the glass, and as you lift it, it gives this very pungent, almost like heavy irony smell, like blood, like just a heavy irony blood smell as it pops up, and you can hear the bubbling from inside it, and you can feel the heat rising off of this strange blood. And as you do, Torgrim Gustradh, you make two quick swipes into it, cutting into the creatures, slicing. And as you do, they don't even mimic, they don't even react to it, but you can see that you've sliced them into two.
Well, that was easy. As I slam my staples button.
Can do we want to gain any more information of maybe how this contraption worked?
So when you leave them in there and you close the lid, you can see that their bodies start to slowly come back together, and you see where you had sliced the scales are trying to heal them.
Okay, I guess after that, Till will kind of like gesture to Torgrim so that she wants to like flip it on its side, just like a bucket full of water just over the edge.
Sure, Torgrim.
Or stew pot, I don't know. Maybe that's more apt because of the chunks, but...
Torgrim would help Till tip it over.
Okay.
No.
Do you need like an athletics or strike check or anything?
That's okay. With both of you doing it, you could take a little bit of time to do it. You could get your feet, get a good grip, and you both flip both sides of the sarcophagi over, causing the risen saline to stumble out in pieces. And then the liquid falls onto the floor. As it does, the darkish color of it turns into more of a brighter crimson red, and it kind of flows across like water, and then sits in some pools under the sarcophagus.
Well, that was quite gross.
Seeing that Gustradh would do the same and ask Stag for help, but take one more hit at the risen saline before tipping.
Hey, sarcophagi.
Sarcophagi.
Torgrim would try to actively avoid stepping in it because he doesn't want the goop all over his boots.
Oh yeah, Till doesn't care at all. It smells nasty, but she'll just step in it. She has like claws touching the ground.
As soon as you touch it, you get this strange feeling that you're being pulled back to your hive. You can hear the call of the life giver. And then it fades away abruptly.
Is anyone watching?
It'd be Torgrim or Shannon, if any of you are looking over it, Till.
Nope, not after I think you dumped it.
Nope,
yeah, at that strange feeling, Till will grab her water skin and like just dump the water off on the one side with her smaller arm, and then with her two larger hands and her fourth spare arm, she's gonna just like kind of get some of the sludgy goop, the crimson stuff, not the human, into the water skin.
Each time your hands touch blood, you get that same. It's almost like a shock, like a static shock, over and over again. Each time you touch it, just you can feel them, and then you like get shocked again. You can feel it again. But you're able to fill it up. There's a lot that came out of that, so you're able to fill it up to the top if you want to.
Yeah, I'd like to fill the water skin up as much as possible. And then she'll grab onto the satchel with the bundle in it, and she'll walk over and join the others.
All right, let's flip this one.
Yep. I do another attack before flipping it.
Okay.
And just and we'll flip it towards this way.
Yep.
Let the blood pool that way.
Ooh.
So flipping it away from the two of you, and then with a nice another quick slice into this risen saline, it falls to the ground, chopped in many pieces. And then the blood starts to turn into that same crimson from black.
I walk over to, or I'll say, good job, Stag. Shannon, I have a request for you.
Yes.
This light spell that you have adorned my claymore, it is very useful, but I think I'll be putting on a shield. Could you bless the battle axe that I just picked up?
I mean, it's a fairly small thing to just cast the spell again. I'll cast light onto the battle axe.
All right, and then I'll swap over to the battle axe and shield.
You got it.
While you guys are doing that, Till will grab like one of the rags in the debris piles, and she'll just use it to like wipe off the goop from her the fluff on her forearms and her elbows.
Okay.
Next to the for the risen, can Stag try to like get the head away from the rest of the body, so that if it somehow reforms and the stuff left,
It's just
it won't have a
headless.
head?
So you want to cut it with a nice clean swipe, and then like kind of kick it away.
Yep.
Okay. Yeah. You watch Silent Stag just whoosh, get a nice cut, and then she kicks it away from the rest of the body, and the head just kind of rolls towards Till and Torgrim. Do-do-do.
And I would like to do that to the other one as well.
Sure. Another quick, clean cut. Almost like you're hunting and you're putting something out of its misery, and kick the head to the side.
Yep. Look back, kick the head that's probably about here, and kick it at Torgrim's legs.
Torgrim would like actively like you like hop to make sure none of the blood like hits his boots or anything like that.
You sure you don't want to put that into one of your stews?
No, I'm good. Thanks though.
I'm sure it would taste just as good as the other one.
So for reference,
I don't think so.
down here as the last thing, and to the west was just more of the undead. So if you want to like make sure you full clear this, the last part's down here.
Tempting to move.
So as you wind around the corners here, you come to a skeletal remains of a deer. The deer here has been sliced up and violently thrown into this chamber, and then there's a ripped backpack which lies amongst its scattered bones.
I will investigate the backpack.
Backpack is ripped and shred. There is a potion corked, and it is it's a reddish looking liquid. And then there's also a very well-made hand axe that has the hilt and the blade looks like the face of a hawk, and your tether sense goes off when you see it.
I will definitely grab both of those.
Dag will just crouch down next to the deer and put a hand like kind of where the skull is and just give a little prayer for it.
Gustradh will come over and put a hand on Stag and say, "Death comes for us all. Would you like to join me in a prayer for the Matron of Ravens to guide this soul to Bedoma for judgment?"
I will also use my tether sense to identify the hand axe.
Okay.
I don't want to alarm the two of you, but this one's been dead for quite some time. If its soul was to go anywhere, I imagine it's already there.
That's a cool hand axe.
That is a cool hand axe.
So
That's better than my hand axe.
I want that hand axe.
Yeah, I wanted not to even use it, just to have it.
The potion you found is a potion of healing. I put it in Shannon's inventory, but you can toss it wherever you want to. The hand axe is the Steel Hawk. When you hurl this hand axe and speak its command word, choose up to 3 different creatures that you can see, picking the order in unison. The first target must be within range of the weapon, and each subsequent target must be within 10 feet of the first target. The hand axe hits each target. So it like bounces between 3. You can do that once per day with the Steel Hawk hand axe. So like you throw like Captain America's shield and it hits one 10 feet away, hits another 10 feet away.
But doesn't come back.
It does come back.
It does come back, okay.
Yep.
That's cool.
And that would be...
It would be like
Dex.
dexterity,
Yeah.
because it's when you throw it.
Hand axes when thrown, you use strength.
Strength, yeah, because it's not a finesse weapon.
You should see now under the item tab too, if you want to look at it. I think it'll show you the details with what I just did.
I look at Torgrim and look, question, raised eyebrow.
I do throw hand axes when I'm too slow to reach somebody, so...
And someone's just poking you from far away in an arena.
There's the potion and there's the scroll too. Shannon, you also have the scroll and the potion on you should right now. The hand axe is attuned to, you have to attune to it. But nobody has magic items yet, so it doesn't really matter.
That's cool.
You can distribute this in when we camp.
Yeah, you can do that too.
Or, you know, whatever.
I think I'll pass on your prayer, Gustradh.
Very well.
It had its time.
As we all do.
It's back here. Okay. There's nothing back there.
So to end this episode, what will happen is you will all emerge from this chamber, assuming you all want to immediately try to make your way back towards Vartungard. Is what you want to do?
Mm-hmm.
I would like to make one lap around the round corners.
Casa and Runa would eventually wake up, extremely happy, you know, that you saved them. So, like, super grateful. Runa doesn't remember much. Casa remembers she had awoken and then she was immediately knocked out by Phil. And then she just remembers waking up as you guys are carrying her back across that river. But as dawn turns to dusk, so now that the sun's starting to go down and you get back to the meadow, you would see Jarl Tenfeather, Olvar, Alec, and Crack the Unshamed. From the mud that grimes his armor and the blood that dries his face, you can tell that Jarl Tenfeather has had a long day as well, as he and his forces run up and gather around you and his daughters. Now Bolvar's there with Alec and Crack, and Bolvar looks upon you all very approvingly, and his eyes are bright. He looks happy to see all of you and happy of what you did. And then Jarl says, "It seems like you've all had a day of it too. At first, I had thought you defeated, or your courage shattered, when we found the remains of the attack in the meadows. But we began to follow the trail to find the girls. We realized it was your trail we followed, and we saw signs of your spirit. You have fought and bled for my household, and in my mind, it makes you part of it. Glad I am that you have saved my daughters from whatever evils that transpired, and happy I am to reward you. Once we return to Vartungard, you will eat and drink your fill. You have all done well this day. But questions and answers must wait till we return to the safety of our hall, for night approaches, and the eyes and ears of the forest are always watching and listening. He hugs his daughters. You can see that there's a really fatherly bond there as he gives them both a huge hug, and then Olvar and Alec will walk up and attempt to congratulate and greet both of you. Crack the end. Shame stays back and kind of just smirks, puts his arms across his shoulders. And then they're going to, almost like double time, but they're going to try to hurriedly get back to Vartungard before it gets dark. As they do so, this would be for Till and Silent Stag, Shannon. Oh yeah, everyone has sign-up perception. So all of you, as you turn your back and look to where you just come from the Barrow Fist Hills, briefly looking over your shoulder, a figure in armor made of dragon's bone over chain is a long flowing red cloak, and he has the skull. Try to make it pop up. Yeah. Ooh.
Well, that's badass.
There's dragon bone over chain, long flowing red cloak, and a skull of a young dragon fixed above his shoulders, and he stares at you. He points a staff in your direction as the five of you begin to walk with the Jarl. Then he immediately turns out of the way, going down that small little opening that you guys had walked to get to the barrow. Disappears from sight.
Ooh.
That's not at all ominous.
You have been seen.
Oh, but it's really cool.
Red Fang knows you. So our next game, our next episode, is not next Tuesday. We'll be back here on February 1st. We'll pick up right to when you guys get to Vartungard, and you can talk to the Jarl and proceed to go wherever you want. And we'll figure out like which direction you guys want to travel to. Jarl will have some stuff for you. There's a lot of other things around here if you want to check it out. You can start to traverse Vartungard, go to the ends, talk to the people. And if all goes according to plan, there'll also be a second campaign starting that same first week of February. Fingers crossed that it happens, hopefully. If you liked what you saw and you want to play games with us, hop in our Discord, check it out. If you want to see some of the 5e homebrew stuff that I make, you can jump on to Gamingbrew.com. Hope you guys enjoyed the game. Just getting started. And we'll see you in the next one. Have a good night, everybody. See you.
Night.
See you.
Have a
Bye,
good night.
everybody.